start talking about this matchup where we have a Glaz and Montaigne both being picked early by FlipSid on their first attack round.
Yeah, now FlipSid is going to start out here on attack, and Ominous is going to start out on defense. Looks like we will see that Church Arsenal Room, that standard pick here from Ominous.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me whatsoever, but what does, again, is a Glaz plus a Montaigne. And we also have a Thermite and Habana, so they're going to more than likely open all 3 of the drops as well as the construction tunnel, and that's a lot of options for FlipSid to work with.
Yeah, I'm feeling like we'll see, like I said, all 3 drop hatches. Now, the question then comes, once they open up the cave tunnel, is Thermite going to try to open up the church wall, or are they going to use the Monty to try to open up the armory wall underneath the kitchen?
Anything is possible when it comes to FlipSid. They are very creative with their strategy. Even being a heavy strat-based team, they are one of the ones that tends to actually throw in the most adjustments over time. And that's one of the main downfalls we see with a lot of strat-heavy teams is they won't come up with new and creative strategies that they rely on, and thus another team like, for example, Ominous is going to be able to look at their VODs and pick apart the commonplace strategy.
Now it looks like Jarvis gets spotted out by Easy Peasy's drone, and I think that's just to make sure that you don't take it for granted that it's safe up there.
Yeah, and you know, in Pro League, what will usually happen, and we're seeing here 3 prone players in the construction spawn.
Slumber party on their Game Boys back here.
The attacking roster will almost always drone out the entirety of upstairs on Clubhouse when it comes to a basement defense, because there is no reason whatsoever for you to risk having some roamer in some corner hiding, waiting for the right moment to flank. And when you can just cordon them off to the basement, put a claymore on the top of a garage stairs, and then work with your take.
Now we are going to see Chapstick here making sure that this church isn't, or the cave isn't getting opened up. We saw the ADSs, the mute jammers, the shield. That ain't getting opened up.
That's a lot of utility being spent there, however, and I have to wonder if it's possible to put a Thermite on the far right of that wall, and it looks like that's what they're going to try and do to actually get that breach. He might be able to pass the mute. We'll find out. Nope. Looks like the mute charges will get the entire of both of those walls, and because there is no Thatcher on this team right now, they're going to have to use smoke grenades to clear that Jaeger, and then there's 2 Jaegers, and they missed 2 of their smoke grenades. They may not have enough utility to open up the tunnel.
They have all 3 ADS. That's not getting opened up. I don't care how you work it.
I don't think they have enough. They have 1, 2, 3. No, they don't have. I don't think they have enough. Actually, they could if they used all of their smokes here. They could open up that tunnel.
Now it looks like Sledge is going to try to toss in 1 grenade, but again, you have all 3 ADSs there.
And it doesn't look like they're actually going to invest all of their utility. Jarvis getting a nice C4 pick onto Zilchi early on.
I mean, that's the Glaz. They don't necessarily know that yet. I mean, they probably know that Zilchi's the Glaz player. But, I mean, the fact that you just took out the Glaz, they aren't getting in through cave. This is looking like a little pickle inside of FlipSid's.
Yeah, a wrench has been thrown into FlipSid's attack. They aren't sure exactly how they're going to be handling this now. They have the Habano, so they can still open up all of the trap doors. But now that they don't have the tunnel open and they're missing their Glaz, they're going to have to adjust everything.
And what we do have is Mint working his way down the central stairs. You have Easy Peasy Lemon Squeezy up top, but Brian, he knows, okay, Monty's here. He's calling it out. BC's laying in some fire from Blue Tunnel. You got Bacon in the back of lockers. But with 40 seconds left to go, and a man down, and you've already got your Monty, who's drastically hurt, down to about 40 health, it's not looking good here for FlipSid on round 1.
No, sir. 30 seconds. Wow, that is a small amount of time with no actual way into the site so far, no picks on the board. Again, as you said, it's looking pretty difficult for FlipSid to take this round.
Oh, and it looks like Brian's going to move on forward and pick up Mint as Hot finally rushes in to get Brian down. And with 10 seconds left to go, Pojo is going to try to hold off BC because Hot and Cold is going to have to sit in dark corner to get that plant down. Chapstick is going to pick off Easy Peasy, but not before Pojo gets Bacon down. Chapstick's going to get a second kill and a 3-on-1 right now. Hot and Cold's going to go for the plant. And he gets it down successfully, picking off 1 kill. He's going to get another. He could have get the clutch here, ladies and gentlemen. It's going back and forth, but he cannot reload in time. And BC takes home round number 1 for Ominous.
A valiant effort by Houghton there to try and get the round into his team's favor, even though the team's overall strategy was, well, kind of for naught. Although I have to hand it to Ominous there. Very creative way to deny tunnel access. Now, a lot of teams I've actually talked to a number of professional teams who don't think that it's possible to really hold the tunnel and deny a Thermite or a Habana opening it up. But Ominous proving that it is, assuming the attacking lineup does not have a Thatcher. And in this instance, FlipSid, they didn't bring a Thatcher to the table, and because of that, they couldn't get their tunnel open. And when they pushed into the building, they just started getting picked off one by one.
So, I mean, to me, what that shows me from Ominous is they've done their homework.
Oh, yeah. They've definitely done a lot of research going on to FlipSid. They know they prefer not to bring the Thatcher when attacking a basement on Clubhouse, and they use that to their advantage. Very creative way to do just that. However, I very much doubt FlipSid will make that mistake again. We're liable to see a Thatcher on the next basement attack from FlipSid. But now it's their turn to defend basement, and we'll see just how they handle this.
Yep. Now, Mint's going up top. He's got some of the drop hatches as Pojo Man gets kitchen drop. This is one of those games. Do you just go up, get your drop hatches, come back down, kind of like what we saw previously, or do you stay up and make them think that you've got a roamer or two? Kill one of the drones last off so they don't get an easy push in.
Well, the thing is, and again, we talked about this before, the thing about Clubhouse is you don't ever have to, there's no real reason. You can make them think, sure, you can shoot a couple drones, and you can linger upstairs. But when it comes right down to it, if the other team you're playing against is thorough enough, if the attacking squad is thorough enough, and they more often than not are, especially at this particular stage, looks like the Chapstick's just been downed in the tunnel, or outside of the tunnel.
That might have been through the drone hole.
Yeah. Nice on Pojo Man to get a nice early down. 50% of HP off from Chapstick. It's going to make him extremely easy to kill. Pojo Man going to challenge this tunnel with his smoke grenades.
Now we are going to have BC droning it out first as Bacon holding on to a little sliver, looking for his head, but won't spot it just yet. He is going to have to trek through 2 sets of barbed wire, though.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for Bacon to make this push, and you can clearly see both of these teams trying to push their glass into the construction tunnel. Both of the defensive teams handling it differently. Ominous with those mute charges, and FlipSid now with Pojo Man's smoke hold. Now, Pojo Man has done in the past a very excellent job of holding this tunnel by himself. It's worked for him and it's worked against him. Will he be able to make it work now?
Now, what I want to see here from Pojo Man is to just stay quiet. But I think Bacon already knows he's just tucked around to the left part of the corner. Originally, he didn't know. Here's going to come another nade. He's going to backtrack just in time to escape the nade. Another gas grenade, and another smoke grenade is going to go out. There's no more gas left for Smoke.
Yeah, and only one smoke grenade lost for Bacon. Still has all the utility he's going to need to get that push into the site.
Ooh, a C4 goes thrown, and looks like there's a little bit of team damage there.
But 2 minutes have been wasted here, and that's the important factor to consider.
Smoke grenade is come. That's either going to mean Pojo has to run forward, he's going to try to challenge that, or he's going to back on out of there. However, Zilchi gets that kill into Jarvis from underneath. Bacon finally progresses forward through the smoke, picking up Pojo Man. He's at the front of the door. He's actually going to backtrack just a little bit, trying to get a better angle here. Easy peasy inside of blue now. With 50 seconds to go, a 4-on-4. It looks as though we're going to have Bacon droning on out as BC's trying to hold down towards the locker. He knows it's all free. He's actually going to rush it forward. He picks up one, and it looks like Bacon. Well, I'm sorry, no, that's going to be BC. Picks up Zilchi. Will be taken down by Easy Peasy Lemon Squeezy, and Brian able to get hot and cold. Trying to trade it back, a 3-on-2 at the moment. Mint's here inside of Church along with Espez, and now those are the last 2 guys. Looks like Armory is all for the taking from the attacking squad. 20 seconds left to go. Bacon still not exactly sure where everyone's at. Keeps on looking at the drop hatch. Mint's actually coming around for the flank. And there's going to be a nice headshot from Bacon. Diffuser does get planted. Mint's the last one alive. He's going to have to fall through the hatch, and we already know Bacon's looking right up at it. So this is not looking good for Mint. He's kind of just peeking. Chapstick's trying to hold down the ladder.
At this range, he will more than likely get one shot down by Bacon. And there's the headshot. Doesn't even need to shoot for the torso. A nice, excellent shot for Bacon to lock out the round. So we could see from Ominous and FlipSid, they're both trying to get their glass in a position to have control over construction tunnel. And the difference in that round going in, from Ominous is they actually managed to make just that happen. The way that FlipSid was trying to deny that construction tunnel was through brute force, playing Pojo Man there with the smokes. And he did a good job of delaying. I think he delayed for 2 minutes, 20 seconds thereabouts. So he did an excellent job overall as an individual. But as soon as they lost control of construction tunnel, they started getting picked off one by one. Some great just spontaneous pushing in from Ominous, as you saw. I think it was the Sledge, just pushed in, didn't even really care about who was holding the angle. Got that kill onto Jaeger, opened things up for his teammates. The kitchen drop was open at that point, and the rest of the Armory defensive operators got cleared out, and that was pretty much the end of the round.
Yeah, I think it was a very good push by BC, moving on out of the cave tunnel into Armory. He picked up Pulse. And Valkyrie, I don't think she got injured.
No, Valkyrie was on cameras. He didn't. I don't think he saw Valkyrie. She might have just blended into the wall for him there. But getting rid of that Pulse, like he said, that was huge.
Easy peasy peeked up from the Armory crates, getting the trade, but still the damage had been done.
Yeah. And now we are going to be seeing Ominous with 2 very successful rounds going on to this Clubhouse map. This is, of course, FlipSid's map, so this is the map that they are looking to win rounds on, and it's unfortunately for them going in the favor of Ominous so far. But now, Ominous on a bar defense, this is the complicated site to win for either team.
Now, Ominous does have...
Oh, those are nice cameras.
Good camera. That's that yellow window we were talking about last week.
So you were saying you can shoot through those?
Yes, you can't see through them from outside in, at least not that I've been able to.
Yeah.
But you can shoot through them, and the windows don't break.
And it looks like if you put a camera right up against the windows, then you can, in fact, see through them. So it just looks like they're tinted, but not quite fully. That's actually really nice that's very creative of Ominous to find out. Ominous coming up with a lot of creative strats themselves.
That was 3 smoke grenades right off the start. I'm not
quite
sure.
Is this just a backwards Montagne plant?
Right inside. It's going to be a 5-on-5 plant going down right now. An amazing job by FlipSid.
And Ominous doesn't have anyone in a position to stop this. And now they're going to have to go for a full 5 versus 5 retake.
Perfect job. Now all really Monty has to do is just sit inside the doorway, and everyone else needs to watch the flanks. That's all that has to happen. You've already got, I think that is Bacon who's been taken out. That's the Rook. You've got Brian playing Blitz. I'm sorry, Bandit. Now Brian does jump on out and will be taken out by Zilchi. 5-on-3, only 20 seconds left to go, and right now this is not looking good. You've got, I believe that is Chapstick who's been injured. Bacon will be killed off. Last minute alive, Jarvis. He's gotten an ace before, but it doesn't look like this is going to be his time to shine. Jarvis moving on forward inside of the lounge. He's giving away his position. He's picked off hot and cold. Gets him down, but not finished off with a deagle. He wants to go and just get 1 kill before he is taken out by Pojo Man. And there's going to be FlipSid's first win on round number 3.
All right, so FlipSid says, all right, guys, huddle. We've lost 2 rounds going into this Clubhouse. How do we win the 3rd? Let's all spawn kettles in front. We'll smoke the door, and Montaigne will plant with the shield on his back and in the first 30 seconds, and that's it. Scene. Good, go, let's do it. And it worked for him. I mean...
Ready, action!
Sometimes the simple stuff really, the team won't expect it, especially coming from someone like FlipSid or a squad like FlipSid, who is, again, historically a very in-depth strategic team. They come up with the very creative stuff, and we've been seeing some creative stuff from both of these teams so far in this matchup, and... honestly, I hasten to say creative when it's just, let's walk in, smoke it, and plant.
I mean, that, to me, it might not have been creative, but it was definitely smart, because as you saw, Monty, I mean, I questioned Monty. I was like, why are you throwing 3 smokes right away?
Yeah, I'd say that was wise, what that was. It was just simply a good read by FlipSid, thinking that Ominous is not going to be directly in a position to stop that plant, and they likely droned out the site prior to doing just that plant. So now we are seeing, however, FlipSid going back into that defense of the basement. They were unsuccessful here. It was because they could not deny Bacon control over construction tunnel, and thus they lost too much footing in the Armory site. The question is, will they be able to do that this time? And they are on a base. To be fair, it is a basement defense, and historically, this is the defender-sided bomb site.
Yeah. So, I mean, what we're going to see here is possibly a little different of a setup from FlipSid. They do have the same operators. No, nothing changed up on that front.
Yeah, no Thatcher, though, and that's really interesting. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking that the teams are backed up. I totally just got myself stuck in a loop.
It's all good, but they are looking to open up this cave entrance yet again. Chapstick's going to be doing it without much resistance. Pojo Man, again, as you said, going to try to brute force his way to keep Glaz out.
Yeah, and again, he did a very good job of doing it last time. He didn't actually kill the Glaz. I don't think he traded any players back into his team's favor, but he wasted 2 minutes, 20 seconds, and that is a substantial amount of time to be wasting and holding up someone with just 3 smoke grenades.
Now Ominous is finishing out their droning of the top floors and the main floors. You see Brian moving on into garage, Jarvis and Chapstick outside by the box crates. And this is where Bacon is going to start moving on forward. He took here last time with BC leading the way.
And you can see that BC, he's leading the way intentionally because it's all right to lose a sledge at this interval, but you need the glass to be able to look through those smokes to take control of Armory. It's part of this. It's the large part of their strat.
Now, I like what Bacon's doing here. He's actually progressing up very quickly, trying to catch him off guard. He's already moving forward now. Pojo Man, he's going to come around, and no, he gets domed by Bacon. Some good reaction time by the sniper.
That's the second time that's happened to Pojo Man, and you have to wonder if he's going to make an adjustment on his hold in the construction tunnel. Maybe not try to hold it hard inside, mix it up a little bit.
That was a very good progression from from Bacon.
Yeah, and he didn't, unfortunately for Pojo, he didn't waste nearly as much time as he had last round on this basement defense from FlipSid.
Yep. Now, Zilchi, he's got to pay more attention to that cave entrance, because last time it was BC just ran on forward. You can see the C4, he's going to toss it on out and not catch anyone. Looks like that smoke grenade might have baited him out.
That was the last smoke grenade, however, from Bacon. BC doesn't have any, which means that he's going to have to progress without any smokes out of the construction tunnel.
We've got two members from FlipSid who have been injured. Chapstick's going to pick up one of them, but it also looks like we've got Hot and Cold who's been injured. Brian with a double kill here, and Mint coming around with his own double, taking out BC and Bacon. A 3-on-1 at the moment. Mint, again, last one alive. He's gotten 2. Can he get 3 more? He's got Chapstick, he's got Brian, he's got Jarvis left. Diffuser is in the hands of Chapstick, who's inside of the blue tunnel. Jarvis is going to try to drone out Church and say it's all clear. That's going to allow Chapstick to move forward. Now he has been spotted out. Looks like one's going to drop, and Chapstick peeking around from blue will take down Mint for the kill. It's now 3-1. Ominous leads.
A fantastic collapse there from Ominous, and it is all mostly centered around distracting what seems like the entire FlipSid roster, focusing on that construction tunnel. As the construction tunnel joust goes on between the glass and the smoke, and again, being dominated by that glass, Pojo Man being unsuccessful so far in stopping the push itself. As that happens, FlipSid are focusing very intently on the tunnel.
Are we going to see our blitz?
We're seeing a blitz.
We are going to see a blitz.
That's interesting that he's bringing a blitz. I can't help but feel like he's trolling, maybe?
I don't think he's trolling. I want to give him a clap for that.
Well, okay. Whatever. Hey, you know, I'm sure they've got a strategy going in and an idea for that blitz pick. It's going to be interesting to see how FlipSid handles this. It doesn't look like it might be the case that they're not trying to go into the construction tunnel in this instance. Maybe they're a little bit worried about the mutes, but it would have been weird. I mean, it's a little bit weird that they decided to go with this route. They could have easily just brought a Thatcher. I mean, I can't wait to see where they put that blitz. To be honest,
honestly, we're going to keep a very strong eye on this blitz to see how he's going to formulate in the meta, knowing that his hitbox isn't necessarily as strong as others.
Well, it's pretty difficult to avoid getting a headshot or shot in the hands even there. As a blitz or the side of the back. I mean, yeah, no, blitz is not one of the most common picks. But as you can see, Ominous, they've decided to not bring the mute, and they're not doing the same thing on the construction tunnel. That is because they expect, I'm sure, FlipSid to be bringing Thatcher, which completely counters that, and there's no point in doing it twice. So, hey, let's not do it twice. But again, FlipSid opting to bring blitz to the field instead of a Thatcher, and
no,
I mean, it looks like he's just going to go down garage tunnel.
Yeah, what I think we're going to see here is actually Mint leading the way as a full shield, having Hot and Cold have his side covered. Mint's going to push on forward, Hot and Cold's going to be right behind, and you're actually going to see them take over blue nice and easily.
So here's another one of FlipSid's just smoke it up and advance quickly sort of strategies. They did this on the upstairs attack, and now they're doing it on their basement attack. And
I like this.
We'll see if it works for them.
This is beautiful. It's just got to work out for him, except for the C4 right there to take down Hot and Cold.
And the beauty being squandered by Jarvis with the pulse sensor.
I tell you, it's like you looked in the mirror and it just cracked. Bacon, however, does take down Mint. That's also the Monty going down. The double shields, and Zilchi's been down to about, he's dead at the moment now. And there's going to be one trade by Pojo, and he's going to try to sneak on in, but Brian is there to down him. And easy peasy, last man alive. He's just clutching onto the grenade, going to toss it up over the ventilation unit. And he's kind of stuck at the moment.
Yeah, he doesn't really have any options going into a 1 versus 4 here. It's not looking good for him. He's got to contest with a smoke and a pulse sensor, and then BC picking him up as he attempts to cross in blue. So, a valiant effort by FlipSid and an interesting take on a basement, well, take. However, Omin is kind of reading into it, seeing that they're getting it, going for it, getting that nice C4 kill onto Blitz. That obviously cut down what FlipSid was trying to do there with the 2 shields. What I must assume they were trying to do with both those shields was put 1 shield towards Armory, 1 shield towards Church, then the rest of your team could advance into blue and start picking off the defenders. But it kind of went the opposite way after the Blitz got picked off.
Yep.
You know, the Montaigne got killed by the Jaeger. I mean, and now you have 3 players on the attacking team. They're stuck in Garage Tunnel. There's nothing else to be said about that. And quick as a flash, ladies and gentlemen, we are on match point for Clubhouse. Again, this is FlipSid's map.
This is FlipSid's map, and I mean, I like what FlipSid's trying to do. I felt like that last attack round, that last push, could have been done more conservatively. That was a bit too quick for me of a rush.
You know what? Maybe what was necessary. I'm honestly not sure what. It's hard to take that route, that particular strategy, and be like, all right, here's how we could have done that better. Because the simple truth of the matter was that was a rush. And a rush is kind of like gambling in a sense when it comes to this level of play. And in this case, they failed. Ominous clearly read their rush, had the C4s and the players in position to stop said rush, and that was all she wrote, really. And now FlipSid, they have so far been unsuccessful in this basement defense, and it has come mostly down to the fact that they've not been able to stop the Glass from taking complete control of Tunnel and pushing straight into Armory. Pojo Man just not having any luck there. However, we haven't been able to really see it as we've been focusing mostly on the construction tunnel with the cam. What's been happening outside of construction tunnel is the rest of Ominous has been collapsing around FlipSid as they focus intently on said tunnel.
Now, we do have Mint playing Echo, so that Yokai, my belief, is going to be inside of the cave tunnel, as we see here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's looking like it won't be able to get up onto the ceiling here.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're bringing the Echo, and they haven't tested this of whether or not the drone can actually get onto the roof of tunnel. It might be just a bit of a desperation pick coming out from FlipSid. They're on match point now, and again, a lot of it's come down to the fact that they have been unsuccessful in holding tunnel. They also brought a mute to try and delay the drones coming out from Ominous to force Glaz to advance with less information.
Now, which is the BC, again, leading the way with a sledgehammer. Pojo Man going to try to contest it here with a gas grenade momentarily. Now, it looked like he might have been a little bit more conservative, or a little bit, we'll say, not as trigger happy on that gas grenade. I didn't see the gas go off from from Pojo Man just yet.
So a lot of the contention still going around on that construction tunnel, but you can see Brian is moving his way into the rest of the building, opening up these drop downs, which is going to give Brian and probably Chapstick and Jarvis even a good opportunity to come in for exactly what we were talking about earlier, that flank wrap from the rest of the team. Oh,
and Hot Cold's going to get Bacon down, but be injured in himself. But that's a successful kill there, taking out Bacon.
The Bacon being off the board in that Glaz is fantastic for FlipSid. This is the first time Glaz has been picked off this early in the round, and he won't be able to influence the actual Armory push into the site. And it might spell the start of a comeback for FlipSid.
And now there are only 60 seconds left. That's the last gas grenade from Pojo Man, I think. BC still trying to push his way solo through Cave Tunnel. Like we said, we got Chapstick and Brian up top. Jarvis actually trying to clear out the very top up inside of Cash.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Brian, he's just trying to bait out Zilchi to peek into him. He knows that there's that C4.
Oh, and just barely misses Brian as it goes out the window, but he's got to be careful with that cave tunnel because you've got BC pushing in, and there he goes. He gets that shot onto Zilchi.
So this is a lot of bait and switch coming from Ominous.
Chapstick's going to drop down into blue tunnel. Pojo Man actually downs BC, but they got to be careful of the blue hall as that is just where Chapstick has fallen in. Right above him is Brian, who's going to try to drop on down. He's going to find the Wrath of Pojo Man right there beneath him. 2 on 4 at the moment with 13 seconds left to go. Jarvis trying to move in forward. He's giving away his position. Pojo Man knows that's coming in. He doesn't necessarily see it just yet. He doesn't know he jumped in. He will be downed off and finished in the back of Armory underneath the kitchen floor. To his side here is Hot and Cold trying to get the kill down, but no. It is going to be FlipSid, though, taking on this round.
So, because FlipSid managed to get the pick onto the Glaz earlier in the round before he was able to influence the actual Armory push itself, the timing was a little bit off from Ominous. You could see they were trying to pull off their same exact bait and switch with the players in blue and the push coming out from Kitchen as well as Construction Tunnel, and it half worked. They did get the pulse down, but unfortunately, when it came right down to it, not having that Glaz to make the a full push into the site really hurt them. And so that was, I mean, that was a good round from FlipSid to be able to pick him off earlier. It was, I think it came down to the fact that they picked Mute. He was the one who got the pick in the end.
So what are your thoughts on inside of that cave tunnel, instead of barbed wire, having a shield inside of there with some ADSs to prevent grenades from destroying?
I mean, they're going to shoot the ADSs. There's not very many areas. Well, it's complicated because there's, first of all, I'm not sure exactly where you can put a shield in that construction tunnel. I'm pretty sure, given the terrain.
Through, I think.
Yeah, but given the terrain, there's some, like, it's going to complicate where you can actually put it down in the first place. And then on top of that, where you can put your Jaeger devices are also kind of very complicated. You saw with their Echo drone, they were having trouble getting it onto the ceiling. And, you know, you have to wonder if they didn't practice actually using an Echo in that tunnel, if they just picked it out of desperation. And it's along the same, somewhat along the same lines as, like, let's book a shield, let's pick some Jaeger devices in there. Most of the places you can put a Jaeger device to stop grenades from blowing up a shield in a tunnel are going to be shootable by the attacking operators. So, unfortunately, I mean, that's a creative idea, but, yeah. Now we are seeing FlipSid. They are going to be attacking an upstairs again, and they will not be going for the stock room. Like you said, they'll be going for strip club this time.
Yep, so it looks like, might not be a quick push, but it is going to be a standard, looks like a standard strip club hold, or push.
Right. They do have the Montaigne. They're going to be looking to more than likely plant behind him in this instance, but he is in fact carrying the diffuser, so maybe they're going to go for another one of those backwards Montaigne plants with a lot of smoke coverage. I mean, it worked for them last time. It's possible to work for them again on the opposite end of this bomb site. Yeah,
I feel like what might happen here is if they do get the strip club wall open, which is in anticipation and one of the things that they will likely do, we'll possibly see, ooh, actually, Hot and Cold's like a couple bullets from Jarvis peeking out from cash room. I was going to say, open that up, you might be able to smoke out the pool table as well as the hallway leading from strip club towards the bar, and you'd have Montaigne plant behind there.
Yeah. The Echo drone, though, likely to be in a position to stop the Montaigne plant if that's what they're going for, simply smoking and planting. FlipSid have taken control of what seems like the majority of the upstairs in Master and Gym. They are going to open up holes into the bar itself to push the defenders back from that. And there it is, a pick onto Chapstick from Easy Peasy Lemon Squeezy.
That's a good kill from Easy, taking out the smoke. That's going to be the primary kill they wanted to get. It looks like plant will go down, as the Yokai is going to hit the back of the shield of Monty and not disorient it or prevent the butt diffuser from being planted. Now Mitch is going to sit there. He knows he can't be gassed out. You've got Jarvis, who's actually in the middle of the bar trying to hold down kitchen stairs. Tosses the C4 over. Will not get a kill. Ooh, a little peek up from Jarvis will get Easy Peasy down, but Hot and Cold is soon to trade that off. Now Bacon and BC are the last two alive. Not looking good here for Ominous. However, there's Zilchi picking off BC. Bacon, as he tries to come up to the pool table, he will get downed and finished off by Zilchi. And FlipSid trying to bring it back here. They are now down by 1 round. It's 4-3.
Yeah, still match point, however, and looks like FlipSid, they're going to be forced onto a bar or cash room. We have seen them go somewhere else, but we'll find out exactly what they choose here. They're going to be forced onto a different site other than the basement. So it is going to open up the options for Ominous. So far throughout this matchup, Ominous has consistently been attacking basement, 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 as FlipSid has been unable to hold it. Now they're going to have a little bit of an easier time of it. Will they be able to execute similar, or as well as FlipSid has been on the bar defense? Because, I mean, FlipSid, they've had very good luck attacking this bar so far. The way they're trying to handle it, coming from, I mean, what we just saw from them, taking control of Master, opening up the floor, backing the defenders away from the pool table, and simply getting the bomb plant down. That's something, I mean, that's a very old strategy, but it's one of the older strategies that still works. It's difficult for a defensive team to counter it, and Ominous were putting themselves in a position to do just that, to counter it. So, worked out for FlipSid. What are we going to see from Ominous, though? Are they going to go for something new? Are they going to go for something old?
It doesn't look like it's going to be a stock push.
Yeah,
we don't see a Monty.
Yeah, the thing is like, yeah, that's the interesting thing. We don't have the Montaigne. So what are they going to do with this? Are they going to simply wrap around the site, try to get the picks? I mean,
well, now Mint's going to be detected as he gets that Valk cam out there, but that's not necessarily a typical spot that you see the Valk cam, so it could stay hidden for the time being.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully for Mint. Hopefully for FlipSid. Again, this is match point. Oh, and Zilchi getting picked off early by Brian.
That looks like it may. Was that up in cash room?
No, it was in stock room. He was just peeking into construction. You can see from the little X there that Zilchi was just peeking out into construction spawn, and Brian was ready for it.
There it was. So that is going to be their hold down from stock. Whoever is typically situated in there to push that stock push away is no longer there. So it looks like we might see Ominous going for this stock push, even though they don't have the Monty. They've got the resources. Mint's going to be droned down here by Chappie momentarily, but not in time before he picks off Bacon. A good kill onto the glass.
Some unfortunate miscommunication. Chapstick maybe calling it being clear, and because of that, Brian pushing in, or I think that was Brian pushing in. It was either Brian or Bacon. There's two O.Bs, so it was one of those two getting picked off by Mint.
Now Chapstick is going to try to take this head on right against Mint. He knows he's been droned out, but he's going to try to relocate himself just in the nick of time. Chapstick's trying to go for it here.
Now this is dangerous from Mint. He's gotten the pick onto the glass, which is a huge player off of the board, regardless of who it is. And now he's still deciding to stay in the garage.
Now, ooh, a good pick from Mint. He's also going to peek out over. He gets a triple kill there, taking out Jarvis and Chapstick. You saw the coordination from Ominous trying to get that pinch together at the perfect time. It just wasn't as well organized as it needed to be.
That was a fantastic play from Mint, a 3K, and it looks like that's what they're going to need to keep them in this match. We might see overtime.
We very well might. Now Mint dropped down. He did his job. He just went, I'm out of here, went down to Armory, and now he's going to be back with his team as BC's the one to pick up the diffuser with 60 seconds left to go. Now we do have Mint, who did drop, but he looks like he's going to try to come around for a flank onto BC. However, BC picks up that kill into Hot and Cold, who's peeking out from the kitchen hallway. Coming up from behind, no, Mint's deciding not to just yet. Brian's going to try to peek on him, but Pojo Man's trying to gas out, and he will go down by easy peasy behind the bar. Last minute alive is BC, 35 seconds to go. Diffuser's in his hands. I don't think they realize he's inside of the stock room just yet.
They probably have a Valkyrie cam on him. I would imagine they have a Valkyrie cam on him. There's 25 seconds on the clock. He doesn't have a whole lot of options here. He's going to go for the plant.
There it is, and there's Pojo Man with a shotgun kill to finish off BC. What a wondrous 3K by Mint this round, though. Yeah,
and a fantastic 3K from Mint and fantastic 3 rounds in a row from FlipSid. They were at a 4-1 deficit, and they brought it back to 4-4. And now they are going to be thrown onto attack for the first overtime round. That means Ominous will be able to defend basement. Now, you might say, in some circumstances, that being able to defend basement first is optimal going into overtime because that's, it favors technically the defender. It's a defender favoring site. But if you win that basement then and you lose your attack onto the basement, in the last round you're forced to defend bar or whatever other bomb site that you have practiced as a team. So in some instances, it's not necessarily the best thing to be defending basement first on overtime.
Yeah, it is kind of like you might be able to hold it down, but then so can the other team when it gets to their defensive round.
And then you have to hold bar. And it's,
correct.
Yeah. But I think for the most part, these defensive rounds on the basement have come down to the glass in the construction tunnel. And we are seeing, now this is interesting. We're seeing the mute coming from Ominous yet again, but the Thatcher to counter that mute. So what the mute tricking that they are doing on this construction tunnel, unfortunately, is not going to work whatsoever. All 3 of the Jaeger devices, or it looks like maybe just 2 in this instance, but all of the utility that they place in that tunnel is going to be wasted. It will be for naught. And because of that, it might open up some other options elsewhere on the map for FlipSid. That was a good choice by FlipSid to bring the Thatcher to the board on this attack round.
Yeah, I want to say it's almost like they were expecting the second defensive
wasting a Thatcher by throwing it into the drone hole. Now you only have 1.
However,
I'm sorry.
Get opened up.
I cut you off.
No, I was going to say, it was interesting before when the second time Ominous was down here holding the defense, FlipSid still did not bring a Thatcher. It's almost like they knew that they weren't going to do the same thing twice on defense, so they felt we didn't need to bring it.
Yeah, they're definitely reading into Ominous here, predicting a lot of their moves, and that's been, well, I think sort of why they're at a 4-4 overtime now instead of 4-1.
We do have Zilchi trying to take a longer angle of peek here into the cave tunnel. Chapstick's going to be the one to hold it down, just like Pojo Man does on FlipSid. This is going to have to go to one of those more aggressive kind of engagements inside of the cave tunnel.
So despite the fact that FlipSid have managed to open up that tunnel, they now have to get the glass, as you said, through the tunnel. And just like you said, there are players in a position to stop just that play. So if Zilchi gets picked off, then it'll kind of, again, it'll be pointless, the fact that they've made it in, that they've opened up the tunnel. And there's already half of the round just about being wasted on this construction tunnel push, but Montaigne is going to lend a lot of power going into this push.
Now, Jarvis did get that C4 kill into easy peasy, but Thatcher did his job. Cave tunnel has been opened up,
Right.
so while it is poor to have someone downed or killed off, I'd say Thatcher in this lineup.
Oh yeah, the utility from him being used for the most part, his job done.
Now Jarvis knows that Monty and one other, most likely the Glass, is going to be inside a cave tunnel. He's watching above him as Hot and Cold's trying to peek around from Kitchen. Will not get a kill just yet, but there's some bullets flying out. Bacon's going to be inside of the middle hallway now, working his way, trying to make sure he's out of cover until the time goes. 60 seconds left on the board, a 5-on-4. Brian still holding down Church as Jarvis, Bacon, and Chapstick are the primary people holding off the cave push.
I think.
Ooh, Hot and Cold gets a good kill here on the Chapstick. With 40 seconds left to go, we're going to have to see FlipSid start to move in. Mint does successfully. He has the diffuser in hand. He might actually turn around and try to go for a backwards push or a backwards plant.
Stay behind me.
No, he shouldn't just yet. It looks like he will spot out BC inside of blue. Right now we're at a stalemate until someone starts making a push. Pojo Man does get the kill into Bacon, however. And now Hot and Cold will take down BC, and that's going to allow Mint to come around and actually get that plant down, but they're going to progress him to Jarvis first. Hot and Cold tries to take a look onto Brian. Jarvis gets a double kill though on Azuchi and Mint. That's taking out the Monty and the Glass, but finally Hot and Cold comes around, and this is FlipSid's first lead on Clubhouse.
First lead and match point to boot. An excellent round from FlipSid, playing that very patiently, and unfortunately Ominous exposing themselves somewhat unnecessarily in certain instances. Bacon was playing in the middle of the hallway and got picked off from the stairs, the main stairs, and that's kind of that's an unfortunate man to have off the board for seemingly no reason. Ominous, they had I'd say a pretty good defensive setup to hold that push from FlipSid. FlipSid, they weren't coming for the same kind of flanks that Ominous were doing on their basement attacks, which is pushing your way in through blue, pushing your way through the main stairs as well. I mean, they did main stairs in Moto, but they didn't do blue, so there were a lot less factors for Ominous to consider there. Unfortunately, they just played a little bit too aggressive on their defense and exposing themselves. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, a Frost coming out from Mint. I wonder where this is going to make use.
I
think construction tunnel.
I mean, I think it's a lot easier to place an ADS down than it is a frost trap in there.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I mean, where can you even put a frost trap at the construction tunnel? It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see where Mint opts to put those frost traps. It's, I mean, you're bringing a frost instead of a Jaeger. I mean, when you have to deal with so many smokes and the other team never brings a Thatcher. But I bet they have some very creative ideas. However, as it is, match point again in favor of FlipSid. Now, Ominous was at a 4-1 round advantage, and now they have lost 4 rounds in a row, bringing it to a 5-4. They are, however, going to be attacking this basement, and they have had good success so far in this match.
We saw it. I wanted to put one down. I like what they're doing here. They're putting them by the mute jammers so that you won't necessarily be able to drone over top of it and see it. And Glaz, he can't look down. He's going to have to look forward.
Another thing is when Glaz is advancing through the tunnel more often than not, he's got a smoke grenade down on the floor, and he likely won't see the frost trap anyway.
Now, we are going to possibly, it looks like BC is having trouble trying to get his drone in. They don't have a Thatcher, like you said. The mute jammer's trying to prevent the majority of the opening of that cave tunnel. So it is going to waste a little time just trying to get it open, period.
Well, they have already naded the mute jammers that were on the tunnel, and now they're going to be thermiting it open. And there's only 2 minutes left on the clock, though. We have spent an entire minute droning out the rest of the building and making sure that the front of this tunnel is clear. Now we're going to be seeing Bacon very aggressively with this Glaz, making the push in. So far in these defense rounds on the basement, the rounds that have been successful for the defenders are the ones when Glaz gets picked off in the tunnel before he's able to influence the push into the site.
Now there is that Glaz game still going on down. He got rid of one jammer. There's still another by the second frost trap. First frost trap was destroyed by the nade of BC. Now it looks like that gets shot out, so they are aware that the frost traps are in sight. BC trying to get rid of the next jammer. Nade's going to go on forward. Hot and Cold is still tucked around the corner. C4 is going to get thrown out. and not land a single point of damage. Now Bacon's going to try to go for the push, will turn around and pick off Hot and Cold finally. Yet again, another gas grenade. He's going to get a second kill. And this is now looking like it might be ominous. They picked off 2, plus they have control of Cave Tunnel with a glass in hand. Mint also gets injured here. FlipSid looking like they're falling apart. 60 seconds to go, a 5-on-3, unless they can manage to pick up Mint. I'm sorry, a 5-on-2. Easy peasy will pick up that shot onto Bacon. Brian, however, finally finishes off Zilchi, and there it goes. Jarvis gets the last kill of the round onto Easy Peasy. And this is bringing it to round 11 here on first map between these two teams.
Ominous doing the same standard push they've been doing every single defense round. Get the glass pushed through the tunnel. Establish dominance over top blue. Come in there late for the late pincer attack. All together as a team. Have players pushing in through Moto. Players pushing in through kitchen drop. I mean, they've got a gun pointing through every possible angle onto FlipSid's defense. And it's been working stupendously for them as long as the glass wins in the tunnel. Now, because they lost their first basement defense, they are not going to be forced onto a bar defense here, and they're going to be able to re-evaluate their basement again and go for a second chance. They know how FlipSid are choosing to handle this attack. They are bringing the Thatcher to the board to deny the mutes on the construction tunnel, and because of that, Ominous have opted to bring a castle instead of a mute because they know the mute's just not being useful.
So, I want to see how effective these castle barricades are going to be, because you could barricade the cave wall, or the cave doorway, but ultimately that takes 5 bullets from glass to get destroyed, or maybe a little more.
I think it takes 11 bullets to destroy a castle barricade as a glass. Yeah, it takes 11 bullets, and I think I think we can agree that castle didn't need to be opened by, what was it, 3 bullets from glass. That just seemed a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Glass was already in a good place, and now castle's in a slightly better because he definitely needed that, and I think that's good. So it will delay the glass push if they just decide to put a late castle barricade on that construction tunnel door. And Chapstick is going to be playing inside the construction tunnel for now, but likely to pull back if he gets a little too harshly pressured. He's probably just going to try and delay as much as possible.
And now we are going to have Mint looks like he's going to get off his drone here. Looks like as though Zilchi and Mint are going to be the ones pushing in through Cave Tunnel. Easy Peasy still finishing off his droning here as Pojo Man finishes off the bedroom drone. You've got, who's that? Hot and Cold trying to open up the kitchen drop hatch at the moment.
Yeah, this is the quote-unquote safe way to open up that kitchen drop down where it's very common you have a pulse underneath. Oh!
Good job there getting rid of... Actually, no, the hatch didn't get opened.
So what happened there is, the impact grenade came from the castle. It hit the table above the drop. He threw it through the floor, and he tried to get those Hibana charges, but he missed just looks like 1, and the drop did in fact get opened.
I like this look. He's actually opened up a horizontal spray.
Ooh, yeah.
To try to get a bit of a good angle here. He's not going to see anyone just yet. But I mean, that is kind of one of the...
Yeah, a creative way to use glass where you can't open the drop, or you can't open the door quite as easily now, but now you can open up tiny little holes to give yourself an advantage.
And all he really needs to do is just see a little bit of that yellow, and he'll be able to go for the shots through the castle wall, not necessarily through the holes he's already made, but just in general, you'll know which hole he's going through.
Yeah, shoot the bananas.
Shoot the bananas, exactly right. Now, looks as though we will see this wall get opened up here momentarily. 60 seconds left to go. Hot and Cold's going to push on down main stairs. Jarvis still underneath inside of the armory, underneath the kitchen. He's got to be careful. Bacon, he's got to be wary of that main doorway.
Yeah, and there's not any sort of breaching potential. No sledge, no ash coming out from FlipSid, and opening up these these Montanes is seeming to be quite a challenge for them.
Now,
I said Montanes, I meant castles.
The castle barricade, yes.
What am I thinking?
Those silly things.
Yeah.
Now, Jarvis dancing with the devil here. Above him are going to be more bullets flying down. BC going to pick off 1 kill into Hot and Cold, turning it into a 5-on-4. 30 seconds left to go. Zilchi will have to move forward. Mint moves on down. That's Diffuser that's been dropped. Jarvis gets 1 kill, a 5-on-3, 16 seconds to go. Easy Peasy will be finished up by Jarvis. They just keep on falling down through. Pojo Man did manage to get a kill into Jarvis, though. He's going to have to get some help here from Zilchi. Will he get the Diffuser down in time? Chapstick will also get picked off here by Zilchi. A good kill. Diffuser might get planted with 3 seconds to go. Zilchi trying to hold it down. If he here as Castle. Pojo Man gonna turn around, he gets one, Zipsy gets another. We're gonna see Beast, I'm sorry, that's Brian, last man alive, trying to go for the pistol kills here on the Pojo Man. He's gonna pick off Zilchi from above, but we're gonna see FlipSid take home the win on map number 1.
FlipSid, what was that?
Pojo Man with the pistol kill on 2, that is Brian. Tremendous match here on Clubhouse to finish off in the 11th round.
Wow, so a back and forth matchup in that last round. A great counter pick from Ominous to bring the castle to the board instead of the mute, which directly counters the fact that FlipSid had no breach potential onto those castle barricades. However, FlipSid, specifically Pojo Man and Zilchi, with an excellent, I think it was a 2v4.
2v4.
That was great. That was...
I mean, getting the plant down and then holding on to it, that was tremendous job. Tremendous cover by Zilchi.
Yeah, it all came down to really the fact that they got that plant down, that Jarvis didn't get the pick onto that thermite as he was dropping. It looked like he was aiming at him, but just didn't quite catch him, unfortunately for Jarvis. And now we saw first map in favor of FlipSid. Now, that was FlipSid's map pick.
Yep.
They did want to go to Clubhouse, and it came very close. I mean, 5-6, so it's entirely possible that they'll be able to continue that trend, but we'll see.
We will, and this is actually that first round. BC pushed on in, got the pulse, didn't get the Valkyrie in time. Easy peasy picked him off. There was the first kill, or the first ending round.
I mean, that was some great dynamic play from both teams. Every time one of them would choose to try to bring up a tactic to stop a push or a hold.
Oh, not the blitz! Not the blitz!
Poor guy.
There he goes. That is his pro league career.
Yeah, blitz doesn't get picked very often, and yeah, it didn't work out for him when he did. That was a nice shot from Jarvis.
Very good. I mean, this honestly, when it got to be 4-1 in favor of Ominous, I was thinking Ominous has their number. Ominous has the number of FlipSid, but FlipSid just turned it around, especially with this 3K by Mint.
Yeah, it was a good job by FlipSid to keep mixing it up, bring something new every time, or seemingly bring something new the majority of the time, and it worked out for them. Here's that instance where he just didn't quite catch the Pojo Man, and because of that, Pojo Man was allowed to then plant and win the round for his team.
Definitely. Pojo Man did a great job there, along with Zilchi. I think it was very coordinated how Zilchi left the cave tunnel at the perfect time to get up and get that cover.
Yeah, you can imagine if he had stayed in that, stayed in that construction tunnel, he probably would not. They wouldn't have won that round. I don't think, because when he went up to that drop down, he then gave a cone of cover for Pojo Man to get the bomb plant. As we saw, there were no openings in the armory wall leading from the hallway, so the defensive operators are all stuck in church and blue now, and the hallway itself, and they can't stop Pojo Man from planting. And he's behind hard cover, so
it's hard cover that you can't shoot through. Now we are going to get underway in Chalet. Chalet's our second map of the day. Chalet seems like a map that is very fitting for these teams. Yes, Ominous is new to the Pro League, but their players are old in the sense that they've been in the competitive scene. They've been in the Pro League themselves on different teams since the beginning. Everybody
involved in this matchup, besides Jarvis, has been around since the like you said, since the beginning of the game. Jarvis actually came in, I think, at the big end. He came in at the end of Season 2, Year 1, I think, and then got involved in the pro scene itself, Season 3. But Year 1, Season 3. But yeah, no, most of these players, very old players, and they have a lot of experience on maps like Clubhouse, on maps like Chalet, which is what we're about to see. And can't wait to see exactly how they're going to be handling Chalet. Both of these teams are, again, they're known for bringing new things to the table. And on an old map like Chalet, it's going to be interesting to see if we see, well, just that. Interesting to see if we see.
I think going back to how FlipSid had played Clubhouse last week and throwing in the curveball of a new bomb site. I mean, we have. I think we might see that from FlipSid today, and I'm speculating, but we saw a bar and gaming room hold this season so far.
We've seen it in the Latin American Pro League as well.
And last season we saw a top 4 hold from Continuum, I think it was. This to me, with as much as this map is played, as popular as this map is, I feel like there is potential to see these different bomb sites shine today.
Absolutely. Again, I've seen Master used successfully. I've seen Gaming Room, Bar used successfully. Every bomb site on Chalet is technically viable if your team puts enough time and invests in said bomb site. But we are getting into the match now, ladies and gentlemen. Going on to Chalet. FlipSid versus Ominous. Map 2. FlipSid taking the first one. And this is Ominous's map. This is the map that they have chosen to come to. But we've talked about this before. You don't bring FlipSid to Chalet.
You don't do it.
It's like Vertical Gaming, Sisu, FlipSid. These are the three of the teams that are most familiar with this particular map, and it could be that Ominous are counting on just that. Ominous are counting on FlipSid to do their old reliable strategies, and they have put up some counter strats in place to, well, counter that. But I mean, who knows? We'll find out. We'll find out. However, FlipSid going into the basement first round, and this is a little bit less commonplace than a kitchen trophy round, or kitchen trophy defense for the first round.
Yeah, and now what we do have is the Mira. Zilchi playing Mira. What we've seen before with Mira placements has either been on the large wall that Mint is reinforcing facing the large garage, or facing the singular wall facing the snowmobile garage.
I like that shield.
Right on top of the table, good spot.
That's going to allow for a player to play in front of the A-bomb towards that wine shelf sort of corner in the northwest side of that wine cellar room. And they'll have some actual hard cover to use back there because you can shoot, I think, through the majority of that table. And yeah, no, that's some good, it's good, I like that. Also opening up the entirety of that wine cellar wall. Usually you open it, but you don't necessarily...
You don't open it.
You don't carve it to shreds. It's quite like that. FlipSid, obviously, they know exactly what they're getting themselves into with this defense on this particular bomb site. They have their setup very well refined.
Now we are going to start out with seeing BC trying to work his way into fireplace. Brian's already rushing himself into the library, getting back on his drone. An enemy's been detected outside. Mint actually goes up and picks out Sledge from looking into the fireplace. First kill down.
It's likely that we have some Valkyrie cams on the east side of the building outside, and that's probably what gave him that information. Say, hey, you know what? There's a Sledge outside the front door droning right now. Why don't you go ahead and run out and kill him?
So way to start off the round. Pojo Man actually getting zapped a little bit here. He's got taken 20 damage from the Twitch drone. First time we're actually seeing Twitch tonight make an appearance as well.
So this hole here is actually, as you can probably see the bottom of that reinforcement, it sees the snowmobile garage, and he was using it to destroy the bandit batteries that were on said garage so that his team might open it.
So top floor is taken control of now, or dominated over by Ominous. They've managed to get in. You had, I believe that was Brian who was up there, as well as Jarvis. That is Brian up here. So they're now able to start working their way down. They want to make sure they can stop any kind of flanks or long-term flanks or roundabout flanks. Chapstick's here inside of the fireplace, opening up the drop hatch. Is he going to go for a quick drop here?
Doesn't look like it.
Thought he might have. He was standing on top of it for a split second.
Yeah, no, it looks like they're just going to go from a top-down take, maybe use one Hibana charge on the snowmobile garage, but challenges coming from the back hall from Brian.
That's also Diffuser all alone in that back hall.
Yeah, now very dangerous play.
Bomb located by attackers.
Now Pojo Man's going to try to come on back upstairs, but he will be taken out by Jarvis on the collapse. You also, I believe we do have Brian trying to push in. And he gets picked off. A very nice kill. Brian taking down Zilchi. However, easy peasy trying to peek on up and gets Bacon down for the count. 3 on 3 at the moment with 30 seconds left to go. Smoke grenades are going out. And Jarvis still inside a fireplace as Brian trying to push him from Blue Hall. Looks like garage has been opened up by Chapstick. Brian's actually going to go for a quick plant here. Going to drop. He doesn't get in the doorway enough, and there's finally the plant going down. He's got enough time. The yokai won't do anything. I'm sorry, there is no yokai. Never mind. Chapstick actually gets a team kill on a Jarvis, but then finally finishes up the pickup onto easy peasy. Diffuser gets planted. Mint trying to come around for a nice quick
Brian
turn.
is downed by the smoke.
He has been injured. Last man alive is going to be Chapstick. He's got to look above. Mint takes down Brian. However, Mint gets down on the stairs. He's going to turn around here hot and cold coming through the wall that's been opened up. Will he see him in time? He's going to look closely, and no, high cold will go down. Chapstick with a triple kill to take home round number 1 for Ominous.
I think technically, actually, that was a quadruple kill.
That
Did kill one of his teammates.
That was
so
quad kill.
he quad killed technically in that round. So good on Chapstick for that. Probably just a reaction. I think he killed his teammate as he was dropping down. So he was just like, all right, I gotta shoot someone instantly when I come down here. Unfortunately, it just happened to be his teammate. But I like the way Ominous did that take. It's something that we don't often see on Chalet. They took complete control of the 2 top floors. And that is, again, that is a feat in of itself. I just want to emphasize that because most teams won't they won't have enough time to get that done. But you saw the way they were clearing out those roamers.
Yep.
They took a lot of initiative on it, and they did just that. They cleared out the 2 top floors, then they started opening up holes above the bomb site, and then simply walked in through backhaul to get that plant. And it's something we see on a lot of other basement holds, like Clubhouse, for example, that we were seeing earlier in this matchup. But on Chalet, it's just not commonplace. I mean, teams don't do something like that. Usually teams, they'll try to cordon off the roamers. They'll do like a wine cellar take in that over towards the north and the east side of the building. They'll cordon off the roamers to make it so they can't flake, then just simply waltz their way into the site and challenge the anchors. But fully forcing the defenders down into the basement, cutting them off from any sort of roam, similar to what we see with Clubhouse, that is something I don't think I've ever seen before on Chalet, really. If I think about it,
that plant at the back corridor and leading into snowmobile garage, that's not a typical spot to get a plant down, especially solo.
Definitely. Definitely.
So it was well organized by Ominous to get that win under their belt. Now we are going to see Hot and Cold working his way in through gaming room, trying to open up the bar. Brian, however, is going to stay alive on top side for the moment, but it looks like Mint might be trying to push in to get him. Brian still trying to investigate that window opening, looking like he might go for it, but then backs on down. Zilchi actually spots him. Might call it out for Mint to pop into library as Brian moves on down back on the site, retreats, and now we've got everyone here remaining on site. Hot Cold going to jump on in, allow Mint to continue droning for him, as you do have Ash progressing through the top floor.
Again, a very aggressive roamer clear from FlipSid, similar to what we're seeing from Ominous. And are they going to do a similar take to what we saw from Ominous? We do see, you know, honestly, a very similar lineup. However, instead of a Twitch, we are getting a Fuse. And that is likely to go down in the lobby onto the players onto the site. There are no roamers coming from Ominous as of this current moment, but will FlipSid be able to deny all of the roamer game leading into the round?
Now, BC is actually tucked up. That's the bandit. He's actually tucked up on top of the garbage cans. Out of sight, out of mind for the time being. Now, he can wait to hear if a Thatcher's going to go off so he can jump on back down, try to open, or try to keep that garage door from getting open. But at the moment, oh, he's sitting very sneakily here. Going to prone himself now. His feet might stick out before he actually can see the individuals.
It's very dangerous play coming out from Brian. Zilchi gets a pick.
Woo! Zilchi getting a double Fuse kill. It's going to be connector kills there. That's looks like Echo and Mira going down. Chapstick will also be down but not out. BC gets a double kill and Hot and Cold and Pojo though.
Attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped.
He's trying to keep his team back in it. FlipSid has 2 members left alive as well as Ominous. Looks as though Brian finally gets taken down. Mint trying to come down the back hallway here.
I don't think BC knows he's clear to pick up his teammate.
Oh, he isn't really clear right now. Mint's going to poke around and get him down as Hot and Cold got the injured assist, or the kill assist, by finishing off Chapstick.
So unfortunately, BC trying to play it, pivot from his position a little bit too much. He did get those 2 kills earlier in the round, but he didn't take the initiative to pick up his friend, and when he had the opportunity, and because of that, the round gets locked into FlipSid's favor. The basement defense not being successful for either of these teams so far.
I am finding it a little, not odd, but unique or different that both teams have decided to go to basement to start.
Yeah, it is a little bit odd. You're definitely right. And the way that they're trying to handle their attacks is somewhat different, I guess, overall. Ominous, what they did is they cordoned off the roamers entirely, and then they pushed to the site. And FlipSid didn't. Maybe it's just because FlipSid didn't take the initiative on their basement defense, or maybe it was because Ominous was holding it. But whatever the case be, FlipSid did not go for that roamer flank at the end, which is what we so often see on Chalet. But in the case of Ominous on that round, they did. It just didn't work out for them. Now we are going to be seeing Ominous. They will be defending Kitchen Trophy. This is the first Kitchen Trophy of this map so far. And it's going to be interesting to see how they interpret this hold. And again, this is usually what we see firsthand. The bomb site that a lot of teams prefer to play on, and it's kind of weird that we're seeing it well at the 3rd round at the earliest.
Now, one of the things that's a little different that I don't typically see too much of is actually reinforcing half of that kitchen wall into Trophy. They use an impact grenade to open up the side closest to that drone hole, but they reinforce the other side. You actually Hot and Cold down here reinforcing the snowmobile garage wall.
So having that snowmobile garage wall reinforced lends a lot of versatility for the roamers who will be playing in the basement. and that is namely hot and cold. It's going to give him one less thing to worry about. You did see Sledge creeping up in on BC. He was creeping up to that snowmobile garage. He was going to open it up and start trying to hunt the hot and cold down, but because of those reinforcements, he can't.
So a good move by Hot and Cold and FlipSid to try to deny that. Brian's going to go back up to the library balcony and try to progress his way in. This is something that he's kind of been tasked with doing. He did it last round successfully when the bomb site was basement. And he's not going to look, it doesn't look like he's going to get much pressure either way up here. Yeah,
FlipSid, they're not roaming upstairs whatsoever. Their entire roam game is in hot and cold here down on the basement. And Ominous clearly know that he's down there. They did see him reinforcing the garage walls earlier in the round, so they're going to see him on the drone here now. So they know exactly where Houghton is, and they're just going to try and challenge him, take him out as early as possible.
So he's going to try to tuck himself up into the cubby. There's going to be Hot and Cold trying to push on in. He gets Jarvis down, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, able to take down Brian. A 4-on-2 now with Bacon trying to hold down the main corridor from the kitchen, from Trophy Door. He does have to be a little cautious of the stairwell. BC also going to take a few bullets, almost down to his last health. Pojo Man trying to come from above. Bullets might go flying in here momentarily. Looks like Bacon gets taken out by Zilchi. Last man alive is going to be BC, and that's got to be about 5 health left on his health bar here. Zilchi going to move on forward, progress a little bit. He might throw a stun grenade. There's the stun getting tossed out. 0 left in his pool. Diffuser does get planted. Looks like right on the other side of that non-reinforced, that soft wall is right where Pojo's going to sit. Now Blackbeard tries to go for that push, but BC's there to get the kill. 3-on-1. 5 health left to go, and Hot and Cold gets him down through the wall. And that's going to be FlipSid taking round number 4.
A very similar round on that attack from FlipSid going into Kitchen Trophy. And so far, on all of these different bomb sites, these teams are coming up with similar rounds and similar results. We are seeing now 2-2, and the same exact rounds have been won for each of these teams. All of them attack, and all of them doing the same exact interpretation. Or sorry, was it all attack? I think so, yeah. But whatever the case be, same exact interpretations on the defense, on the offense for both these teams.
Mm-hmm. Now we are going to see FlipSid go back downstairs to the wine cellar, try yet again. Now previously, Ominous successfully got the diffuser planted. They got the win on down here when they were attacking. That plant came in from the back hallway, and it was a very good collapse by Ominous onto FlipSid's defense here.
Yeah, and you can see both of these teams they keep mixing up their bomb sites, even though they're not successfully holding them. They're going, all right, you know what? We can't hold the site. Let's move to the other one, see if we can try that one, see if it works for us. And that's good adaptation from these teams.
Mm-hmm. Now we are still going to see the Twitch come out by Jarvis. He played this last time. Brian played the Ash.
It's a good effect. Those breaching charges were very useful when they took control of the main lobby, opening up the floor onto the anchors.
Mm-hmm.
Pojo Man gonna get the camera outside early in the round. Looks like one that might not be detected. There is no IQ on the Ominous lineup, so it might go unseen. Last time that camera was thrown, actually, I think it was BC on the sledge outside front door who got picked off early.
Yeah, it actually came up from those external kitchen stairs.
Yeah.
Now we do have more of a roam game happening up here with FlipSid. You've got Pojo Man and Mint both trying to work their way on the back stairs. It looks as though Chapstick will drone out Mint, and not quite sure that's going to allow Chapstick to push in as quickly as he was anticipating. Zochi's going to be up top again. I want to see where he placed his mirror. He still has 1 mirror window yet to place.
Likely waiting for the opportunity as well. He is conscious of the fact, more than likely, that Jarvis is playing that Twitch. And Twitch drones are very, very good at opening up the mirror windows there. It's, in fact, in my opinion, it's more than likely the most useful way to have a Twitch drone, well, die is in the process of opening up a mirror window.
Mm-hmm. Now there is, looks like Pojo Man gets spotted out. Brian comes peeking around and gets the kills down onto Pojo, as he is trapped from top and bottom of that middle stairwell. Now it looks as though we do have a little bit of a game going on here. Mint gets hit just a little bit, zapped a little bit with about 2 to 3 shots from that Twitch drone. Drop Patch gets opened up from above him. He's now being pinched and collapsed upon. Brian from above. I believe that's going to be BC from the side of him, trying to come in from game room, and he will be finished off. And there's going to be BC looking in from fireplace to get that kill. So this is good by Ominous. They're picking off the roamers first, like they did previously. They made sure that was all clear. They've taken over control of that top 4. Now they're ready to get this push on with 1/3 of the round in their hand. We're looking here at Chapstick trying to look through the drone hole. He's not going to see anyone just yet, but there's no more utility to keep that garage from being opened up. Jarvis pushing it from the back, easy peasy, trying to hold down the wine cellar. Chapstick does pick off Zilchi, and now you left up with hot and cold and easy peasy.
Oh, timing, easy peasy.
Wonderful kill there. BC, however, will take down the Rook, and now it's all up to hot and cold. Diffuser will get planted at that back plant yet again. There is Brian. He gets killed off by the smoke grenade. Diffuser has not been planted. There's 20 seconds to go. What a wonderful toss that was by hot and cold. Now Jarvis going to try to get this plant down. He's here, tucked around the corner. Yet again, another toss. Perfect job. He's looking around for it, but he finally gets finished off. Pushing in will be BC to get that headshot onto hot and cold. It's going to be round 5 going to Ominous.
A little bit of an unfortunate timing there from FlipSid. Houghton looking away at the wrong moment on those stairs hold, but it probably wouldn't have changed much of anything in the end. Again, this is keeps its continuation of the trend, winning these attack rounds. So far, both of these teams having no substantial luck on either of their defensive sites. And it's going to be interesting to see where Ominous choose to go here. They still have both options available to them. They are going to go down to the Wine Cellar Snowmobile. So again, a constant rotation. We're not winning Kitchen, let's go Wine Cellar. We're not winning Wine Cellar, let's go Kitchen. Both of these teams.
Yeah, this is seeming, like you said, it's been 5 straight rounds of attackers winning. To me, it feels like it's the team that's going to hold down their defense might be the team that takes home this map.
Yeah, for example, if Ominous managed to pull out their first defensive win and the first defensive win of the map right here on this basement hole, then it is likely they're going to be able to ride that momentum. They will be on match point at that time. They're going to be able to ride that momentum going into their next attack and then continue the attacking trend of winning another attack round and lock out this map in their favor. Honestly, I'm hoping for that because I want to see map number 3. Again,
yeah, map 3 is Skyscraper, right?
Yeah, Skyscraper, and it's going to be really cool to see what both of these teams have worked out for that map. Because we've seen some really creative things from both of them. Mostly, in my opinion, the Chalet, so far what we've seen in Chalet is interesting. Not super, like nothing drastically different from what we've seen in the past. I like the way that Ominous takes control of the upstairs fully on their basement attack. However, like apart from that, for the most part, it's been pretty cut and dry what we expect to see. On the map we saw prior, though, that was where a lot of the real innovation on Clubhouse, where a lot of the innovation came out.
Now we are going to see Brian playing very similar to how Pojo was on these back stairs. Last time Pojo got droned out and then pinched from above and below. Will the same thing happen to Brian? BC's going to make sure that the wine closet stays nice and secure. However, I did hear one explosion go off, so I don't know if that was the drop hatch or if that was Snowmobile. Or that could have been this back main wall into Wine Cellar. As we try to figure out, it looks as though Mint is inside a big garage. Looking his way, that was the big Wine Cellar wall getting opened up there. A good shot. That's going to allow Mint direct line of sight into that connection.
So FlipSid are doing, or making one of the largest adjustments so far, and the trend that we've been seeing on both these attacks and these defenses, in that they are attacking through Wine Cellar this time, instead of trying to take control of the entire upper floor, move your way through the drops and the Snowmobile garage. We'll see if it works out for them.
Now it looks as though you've got Hot and Cold trying to fight with Brian, trying to shoot from Kitchen up to where Brian was just sitting. So they know that there's one roamer above, and it looks as though we might see Easy Peasy going up after him.
Activated device.
Hot and Cold, however, will take down Bacon. That is the mirror. I believe she was situated. Oh, no, that was actually inside of Dining. A good shot. But as he comes around, Brian peeks on down to the hole made by Hot and Cold, and that's going to be the end of the Ash. Now you do have Brian and Jarvis topside with only 2 defenders located downstairs on site. That's going to allow 4 attackers to push in. Pojoman gets taken out and killed off by his own cluster charges, or I'm sorry, his own Hibana pellets.
So I believe he was down by the smoke, or sorry, the bandit, but in the end it didn't matter. He killed himself.
Very unfortunate. Now Chapstick's going to be inside a Snowmobile. A good camera there. Chapstick gets the kill on Zilchi. Wonderful, as BC was blind by those stun grenades. Easy peasy able to take down Brian, however, a 2-on-3 at the moment. Jarvis still upstairs inside of the bathroom. He's going to get easy peasy from above. What a wonderful shot. He's actually going to Mint too. Oh, Mint. Oh, can he get the shot? Mint will go down, and he will be finished off here momentarily. Jarvis doing a wonderful distraction. Easy peasy, last man alive. Jarvis keeping an eye out for him, but it looks like BC strafes across from the mirror window to pick off both Mint and Easy, and that's going to be round 6. Going to Ominous, it's now 4-2.
The first defensive win for this entire map goes to Ominous, as you said, and now they put themselves on match point. And all they have to do is win another attacking round, which we have seen so easily done from both of these teams in the past. So, interesting adaptation, or interesting change coming from FlipSid in that they went for that wine cellar attack instead of trying to take control of all of the floors and move their way down, which is what we've been seeing from both these teams so far. But it didn't work out for them. They didn't cordon off the roamers, and they didn't force the roamers back into the site. They didn't do anything about the roamer game, unfortunately, and that's what really cost them that round. You can see there the reason Brian on that Valkyrie was playing in the office upstairs is because once you open up that floor, not only can you maintain control over dining table, but you can also shoot through the drop down in dining table onto the default plant spot in the wine cellar, and it worked out beautifully for Ominous. And now they're going to be going into a basement attack against FlipSid, who have opted to go for the basement hold rather than try and force out a kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, typically, in your experience, when a team pushes from the wine cellar, from Big Garage into wine cellar, do you find that most attacking teams try to get rid of the roamers, or do they more play it like a Red Tower push onto Oregon, where you just need to cut off your angles?
You just have to cut off your angles. You can deny the majority of roamers by maintaining control over kitchen, dining, and trophy room. And that can easily be done with 1 or 2 players, thus allowing the rest of your lineup to simply push their way in through the wine cellar wall. Unfortunately for FlipSid, it did not work out for them in this instance. They got instead of holding the roamers off, they instead got picked off by the roamers, and because of that, they put themselves in a man deficit going into the site push, and unfortunately had no holes open, but whatever. We're going into the next round here, and FlipSid, they have to win their first defensive round to keep themselves in this match.
Jarvis just going to sit on top of the helipad for a little bit here, making sure that library is all clear, but there are 2 FlipSid members here. That is Mint and Pojo Man, yes. This is a very heavy off-site defensive hold. You've got Zilchi, who reinforced with his castle barricades, bar and gaming room and the main vestibule to that back stairwell. He's back there, as well as you've got Mint and Pojo upstairs inside a library. There's only 2 on site.
Yeah, it is interesting how FlipSid is choosing to handle this basement hold. They are trying to mix it up yet again. In the past on Clubhouse, their changes, their adaptations have worked to their benefit. We'll see if it works in this instance. If Ominous is able to take out these roamers in the early game, it's going to hurt FlipSid quite a lot. And now Mint is somewhat trapped.
He's going to have to get back onto site, tear away some of the castle barricades, and honestly, I think that wasn't the right move. He knew he was about to get flanked off. He had to drop back onto site. Pojo Man, however, is going to stay inside a bar. He does have the MPX, going to toss out 1C4, not get the kill, as BC has navigated back to the dining hall. But as we can see, Zilchi got back onto site. He's there with Pojo Man, easy peasy as well. Chap's going to push on forward and actually be taken out. What a wondrous kill by Pojo. That means drop patch isn't going to get opened up. That's going to allow Snowmobile to stay maintained very easily by FlipSid. However, there's the trade. Jarvis comes around with a wall bang from gaming room into bar. And we're going to see BC try to get out that castle barricade. Might have been successful. Going to open up the floor here. However, he does get taken down by Easy Peasy. Oh, I'm sorry, no, that is Bacon getting taken out. That's going to be the Glaz. So now we're left with Jarvis, Brian, and BC. Brian still working his way towards the back stairwell. Jarvis going to open up the floor. This is above the wine crates. Don't think he's going to spot anyone just yet. Easy Peasy's on the back table. However, BC's going to have to go back up the stairs with 20 seconds left to go. You're going to see Brian, I believe that I'm sorry. Yes, no, that's Hot and Cold. Trying to smoke out the fireplace stairs, and Diffuser will drop on the back stairwell. Zilchi getting that kill. Now Easy Peasy finishes off BC, and last minute alive is going to be Jarvis. He's going to be stuck against 3 defenders. It doesn't look promising for him, especially with no Diffuser in hand.
So FlipSid reading the ominous attack and directly countering it. A good job by them to win their very first defensive round and keep themselves in this matchup. It's still 4-3, match point in favor of Ominous, but they have to do, yet again, the feat of winning an attack.
Correct. And so now FlipSide's going to be on defense. Ominous is going to be on attack. Ominous is up 4-3. They win this, we go into our third map on Skyscraper.
Ominous is going to be on defense.
Oh, they are defense. I'm sorry. You're correct.
That was my bad. I led us astray. I led us down the wrong path. I mean,
nonetheless, we've got Ominous here who needs to hold down their defensive site, and if they can successfully do that, which they've done previously, they did so. Or, sorry,
they were the first to win their defense on
that was
on the basement. Yeah, both of these teams have won a single basement defense. And now we'll see if Ominous can successfully hold the kitchen. For both of them, they struggle with this kitchen hold. The roaming game just not coming out from either of these teams, and because of that, they're both taking control very early round, upstairs, and even the basement, forcing the defenders to cower in the sites, just opening up angles onto said defenders and getting the picks while they push in through dining table with the glass. There is, however, no glass coming from FlipSid in this particular instance, so it's possible that will work in the favor of Ominous. You don't have to worry about that unstoppable force moving their way in through the lobby. There is, however, a fuse, which might lend a similar effect if used correctly and timed correctly on the push from FlipSid.
So now, what kind of is confusing to me to an extent is the two walls of kitchen facing the lobby. Most of the time, those are reinforced so that you can't see into kitchen from the lobby and outside on the patio. But they're purposely leaving them open and actually opening them up all the way from head level so you can see throughout the entire kitchen.
And it's likely to be because they recognize the reason they lost that last kitchen defense is due to the fact that they had no roaming presence. And here you can see they have 3 roamers, and having those 2 doors open is going to lend those roamers in a way to rotate back into the site nice, quick, and easy.
What we are looking at here is going to be Jaeger, going to be roaming up top, as you said. We had Pulse, that's Jarvis, and so BC's the one up in the library. Jarvis is downstairs inside of the big garage, and Valkyrie's also down here with him. That's Brian. So Brian's going to be inside a wine cellar. It looks like, you said, a very different kind of hold than what was previously happening, and it could just be what they needed to win this defense.
Likely is, I mean, they needed to make some sort of change to their strategy, and this is probably the best choice they could have made.
Hot and Cold trying to hold down L. Zilchi's going to drone that out. I don't know if he saw BC, but BC at the moment is inside a library waiting for someone to try to pop through that window. Mint's going to lead the way here. He's actually going to progress forward. He's going to open up the wall. No, but he does get droned out, so BC's now being pinched across. He's going to try to pre-fire. Almost tapped the head of Hot and Cold. Nade's going to get tossed towards the back. There it goes. And it will open up the drop hatch and force BC out of there, but Brian gets 1 kill in a Pojo Man, so that is a 1-for-1 trade. As Brian came up from downstairs to now peek around from gaming room. It is going to be the Habana that's been killed off. If they've gotten the master bedroom drop hatch open, that means she's basically done her primary role. Looks like Jarvis still going to be underneath. Hot and Cold is... I don't think he quite knows that we have Brian inside of the gaming room, so that could be a very nice position for Brian to come around and flank as the round is dwindling down here. Hot and Cold will be taken down, or will be taking down Bacon as he is here progressing forward. Now he's keeping an eye on the back as he's got a suspicious feeling that someone's behind him. So Brian will go upstairs here on the back stairwell. Gets rid of the drone. Zilchi's going to come on over, possibly look towards the stairs. He's actually going to open up the drop hatch first. Peek on over. Now with 25 seconds left to go, it's going to have to be FlipSid trying to push in. Moments to go. Looks like Zilchi's going to drop on in. Mint picks up Brian. No sledge in sight just yet to open up that castle barricade. We do have 2 attackers inside of dining. We're going to see the plant finally go down here. Looks like Zilchi gets it down successfully. Easy Peasy and Mint are both taking some damage by the smoke grenade. Mint goes down by Jarvis, and Chapstick and Jarvis are the last 2 alive. Jarvis gets taken out. Chapstick in a 1-on-2 situation. You've got Zilchi here inside of the kitchen. He's looking to get that shot on the Chapstick. Will it happen? He's looking for the shots down onto him. Tags him just a bit. But at the moment, it's not looking good for Chapstick. He's going to have one heck of a round here as he pushes on forward. Looks for Mint. There's not giving up any kind of soft angle. We'll rush on forward, and there's the bullets going through. Chapstick down to 1 health. He's going to go for the shots here. Zilchi goes for the pistol kill, and he finally gets Chapstick down, and that's going to be FlipSid, bringing this back to a tied game, 4-4.
And overtime. So that is the second time in this series where we've had Ominous be on match point and just not be able to lock it out, unfortunately for them. So now we're going to see if they are forced onto attack here for the first round of overtime. We're going to see if they can make the attacks work for them. Now again, attack has historically throughout this matchup been the more successful side to be on, so that might favor them going into OT. They are going to be bringing their time-tested lineup, and no sort of major adaptations in their roster, in their operator selection here, going into this basement attack. We'll see if they're able to make it work for them this time. Last time, they didn't have very good luck, and it's because FlipSid very clearly read exactly every step that Ominous was taking to push their way into this site, in that they were opening up Snowmobile and the drops, pushing their way in through the back hall and trying to get a diffuser plant down in the smokes themselves. And yeah, no, FlipSid just kind of read into it. Countered each and every little step, getting the picks along the way.
And now Pojo Man's going to be back upstairs. It's looking like he's trying to think, where do I go? Which one do I want to stay in? Trying to open up a window here. 5 seconds left to go and press base. Now the castle, that's Zilchi. Previously what he did, he reinforced or castle barricaded, again, this wall here is going to basically same castle setup. Gaming room, vestibule, as well as barred main door. And that's going to allow them to keep control of this back stairs, or at least waste a lot of time from the defender, or from the attackers.
Ooh, Valkyrie, I'm not sure exactly what that explosive was, maybe an impact grenade from Castle, but took off half of Valkyrie's HP. That's kind of unfortunate this early in the round, and it looks like even Castle is lit up somewhat.
A little bit there, you're right. And Jarvis now just taking the drone here, moving on forward. He sees Pojo Man on the back. Now, Pojo Man last time was taken out here. He got droned out, and he was taken out by, I believe that was Jarvis peeking around from Library. We're going to see Jarvis, again, come on into the Library. Pojo Man trying to gather a little bit of a different site, a different angle. He's here now in the back stairwell. Now it looks as though the roam game has kind of secluded itself. They've gone back down, collapsed themselves back onto site. The only one who might be off, I think, is Mint at the moment. He's in a large garage underneath a trophy. What we've seen here, I want to say from Ominous every time, though, has tried to bend a plant towards that back hallway, towards Blue Hall. Yeah, and they're setting themselves up to do just that yet again, but you have to wonder, is FlipSid going to be able to be in, or they're going to put themselves in a position to counter that exact plant, because it's happened time and time and time again, and they're going to be ready for it. So maybe Ominous should adjust a little bit here, try and go for something different. We'll see what exactly they choose to do. There is only 1 minute left on the clock, and neither of the teams has lost a single operator, but now Ominous are starting to open up holes into the site itself. That is going to limit how FlipSid can maneuver going into the final seconds of this push. And as we do see Ominous, again, they're going for this push. They're going to have to make, if they are going to make a change to their strategy, it's going to have to happen in the next 15 to 20 seconds because there's not enough time left on the board. Easy Peasy's feet will be seen, but he's able to tag Jarvis to force him around. He's going to use his second breach charge to open up the soft drop hatch.
That might down Pojo Man. Nope, not quite.
However, Zilchi does get injured here on top of, or right outside of the garage doors. Brian still working his way down. He's very cautious of that opening where Hot and Cold's peeking out for him. Zilchi finally goes down. BC picks up a kill of his own onto Pojo Man, and now it's a 3-on-5. This is the first round of overtime, so Brian, right there. Jarvis actually takes him down Hot and Cold from above as Brian tried to push on forward. He's going to smoke it out, go for the plant here momentarily. BK's going to get a kill. The last man alive is going to be Mint. He's here inside of that big garage hallway, moving on forward. BC will go down as he's not looking the right direction, but still, 4 more members of Ominous and diffusers planted. This is going to be the round for Ominous to take on 5-4 at the moment.
So, FlipSid, full anchoring in the site. Ominous doing their standard take, clearing out the majority of the roamers aside from Mint, who is playing in the. Ooh, nice pick from Mint. It's actually 1 versus 3 now. There is every possibility that he might be able to get the last 3 kills and the defuse. It's
going to have to happen soon. Now Chapstick knows he's going to drop through here. Claymore, he knows he can't fall through, so he comes on down, and Jarvis will peek on up and get the kill. Actually, he came around from the dining hall.
Valiant effort from Mint. So again, sorry, not Jarvis, but Ominous as a whole. They cleared out the roamers. They took control of both of the 2 floors. They opened up the drop downs. They moved their way in through back hall. They opened up all of the holes in the lobby to force the defenders away from holding the snowmobile garage and the back, and anyone who in it being in a position to stop someone coming in from back hall. That's their objective when they open up above the site, and it worked out for them tremendously well. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, it did. Mint was playing in the big garage, and he was trying to get that roam game off, but unfortunately, he was just a little bit too late there. He could have maybe impacted the round a little bit if he come somewhat sooner. Something to reference Ominous's attack strat there to something else, you could say it's very similar to what you see on Clubhouse bar attack, where a team will take strip club and master bedroom. They'll force the defenders away from the pool table and then just simply plant on top of the pool table because they have vertical control from above. The defenders can't put themselves in a position to stop the plant because they're nowhere near it because they're being forced back from above, and that's what's going on. And now we are seeing Ominous. They will be going into their basement defense. We'll see if FlipSid can win this round and bring themselves into a 5-5 and keep themselves on this map. Now, last time it was on basement defense from Ominous. FlipSid, they tried to mix it up a little bit and go for a wine cellar attack. Did not work out so great for them. They got they kind of just lost to the roamers, to be honest. Their roamer hold wasn't so rock solid. And now they're going to make another change. They're going to, instead of coming from the wine cellar, go straight for the snowmobile garage.
Yeah, and without a thermite, it looks as though Pojo Man is going to get the wall opened up of garage and then possibly rotate over to bar. But primary goal is to get this opened up so they can push in for the plant.
They might be trying to do something similar to what we saw in Clubhouse earlier, just open up the wall, throw a ton of smokes in there, and yeah, plant. End of story. But we'll see. See. They are opening up holes from gaming room into bar using those ash charges, so it's likely we're going to see the Hibanas go into the drop down in bar. Try to force back the Ominous roster. Something similar to what Ominous has been doing, but a little bit farther, a little bit more reserved.
Now, instead of opening up using 2 Hibana charges to open up that garage door, they're just going to use 1. Ooh, a very nice peek by Hot and Cold to get that dome shot onto the Valkyrie. But what they were doing there on the garage wall was just opening up enough so that Blackbeard can hold down the snowmobile garage once they clear out the back hallway and the fireplace stairs. But that's not an easy task.
Right. There are 2 players in this back hall, and Hot and Cold is looking for him.
Hot and Cold knows there's 1 Chapstick still trying to dance with the devil from below. We'll get on out, but Blackbeard is there, so a good pinch. That is what Zilchi's meant to do there, is make sure that they can't escape there as Hot and Cold tries to flank him out. Mint is going to move forward. Chapstick's going to keep himself covered for the time being. 60 seconds. He knows he's being pinched. He's waiting for BC to come around for an even larger flank as he's just gassing out and wasting the time. But those are the only 2 left, and now BC's last man alive. This looks like it might be a FlipSid round as we go to round 11 here momentarily. Mint goes for that final kill, and he gets it successfully. We're now headed to yet again another round 11.
It has come down to the wire on both of these maps for, well, these teams. Looks like we had a disconnect there, so see exactly what's going to be going on here. Maybe he'll make it back in time. Who knows? Calling for a rehost. All right, so we're going to be seeing a rehost. It is, however, still 5-5 on the second map of this series. FlipSid took the first one 6-5. So again, both of these teams neck and neck. Neither of them showing any sort of dominance over the other. Now in that last round, what we ended up seeing was something similar to what Ominous was doing. Ominous, they're forcing FlipSid on the basement back into wine cellar so that they can get the easy plant off and picking players along the way. But FlipSid, they forced Ominous forward by opening up the snowmobile first and pushing 2 players into the back alley, and then pinching them, well, pinching, whichever, and getting those picks off so that they can just waltz into the site with a man advantage.
I think that was very smart of FlipSid to do. To me, you like you said, you can either push them out of the site or you can pinch them and then capture them in basically a death trap, and that's what Hot and Cold and Zilchi were doing together in coordination. Now, unfortunately, you had the roamer, the bandit, that was BC trying to come around. He came around just a bit too late. He could have pushed a little bit quicker, possibly gotten Hot and Cold inside of the bar, or even better yet, gotten the God, whoever was playing Glaz on the back stairs. I'm drawing. Oh, that was Mint. Mint was playing Glaz. So that would have been very effective for them.
I can hear you.
But
yeah, no, it would have been, and it was a good handle from FlipSid to get that done. And we'll see exactly what's going to be going on. Let's see, it was FlipSid on attack, so Ominous on defense. So Ominous is going to be going into attack for their last overtime round.
Yep.
And
can't go basement.
Yeah, FlipSid can't go basement because they were
No, it was a successful attack for both teams.
Okay, so it was a successful attack for both teams. So FlipSid can choose between basement or kitchen. It's their choice. But again, we have seen for the most part on this map, attackers favored, well, everything. I mean, we've seen, I think, 2 defense wins overall. Maybe 3 if I could be a little bit off on it, but it's
for the most part, it seems like attackers have been leading the way.
But I will say that the majority of the time when we see defense wins, it comes a lot down to the roamer game. And when we see the attacking team winning so easily, like what we just saw, it comes down to the lack thereof, or a roamer coming up just a little bit too late. And we'll see exactly what's going to be happening. We are jumping right into the match here, guys. 5-5 again. Neither of these teams have showing any true dominance over the other.
Yeah, so I mean, this again, to tell you the significance of this game, what this does, the winner of this game is guaranteed to make it to LAN. And so if the winner of this series, apologies. So the winners of this series are guaranteed to make it to LAN, which means if FlipSid wins this round, they win the series because they won the first map. If Ominous wins, we move into Skyscraper, our third map, and again, the winner of that map will then progress to the LAN be guaranteed at least.
Yeah, they'll be seed 1, well, they'll be seed 1 or 2 in the playoffs, either way. Now we are going to be seeing FlipSid. They have opted to go for the trophy defense. Now this is an interesting choice as both of these teams have struggled with their trophy defense being very much dominated by the attacking squads on either side of the fence. And you have to wonder if FlipSid, are they going to be able to throw some sort of adaptation onto how they're holding this, because it's completely necessary. I mean, it's been sweeps on the trophy defenses, like genuine sweeps. Neither of these teams have had any real luck going into this site.
Yeah, it does seem like defensive holds on this site are very much struggling for both teams.
We'll see how FlipSid choose to handle it, though. Ominous have brought with them a Glaz, Vana, Sledge, Twitch, and Ash, and that is nothing. There's no real changes from, again, their majority of their attacking lineups. That's pretty much what we've been seeing a lot of the time. No Montaignes being used on this map whatsoever, as far as I can recall, and it makes a lot of sense. Chalet, a very destructible map. It's interesting, though. Again, it comes down. I think that a lot of what's been happening on these rounds is coming down to the roamer game or the lack thereof. So, will we see FlipSid try and play a little bit more aggressively, or are they going to anchor in the site? Looks like right now we have 4 players.
On site, yeah, 4 players on site, and Hot and Cold's the roamer.
Yeah, no, so this might come down to if Hot and Cold gets picked off early, or if he manages to waste some time and take some players with him. Now,
there are 3 drones that had spotted out Hot and Cold underneath. BC's right on the other side of Hot and Cold. He doesn't quite know it just yet. I was saying, is that Brian?
If Houghton just goes for it right now, if he just vaults out, just whatever, let's go, then he could win the round.
Oh, and he is. He's looking the wrong way.
Oh, no.
Hot and Cold, where are you looking, buddy?
Oh,
Brian will get off his drone and get the kill into Hot and Cold, and that's going to be the end of the roam game for FlipSid at the moment.
So 5 versus 4, but more importantly, as you said, the end of the roam game. And now Ominous, they have a significant advantage going into the final round of this map to keep their hopes and dreams alive in this series overall. All they have to do is not overextend themselves too much and play this by the numbers on their push into the site, and they will have a good go of it.
Now, I want to say Pojo Man does have the potential to drop if he needed to help out with an additional roam, but Pojo's role in this dining hall is to just stop a push as long as possible from the fireplace.
Yeah, and I think the first smoke's coming out from, or first gas grenades coming out from him. He still likely has 2.
Just toying with him.
Yeah, just, hey, poke. Boop. Jarvis going to be opening up holes into the site to try and pick off some of the anchors. And there are 4 of them, so he's going to have a lush target environment. Will he be able to spot any of them, though?
Now, Jarvis's entire role, and there's going to be Pojo fallen, so he now knows, okay, someone's off-site, we can start pushing. He called it out for Glaz. Glaz is already moving in. That's going to be Bacon. BC, however, will pick off Pojo Man. Bacon now knows it's all clear. Very good game there by Jarvis, working together with Bacon to get that smoke out. They have to be wary, though, of his flank. Actually, no, Pojo's been killed off.
Yeah, Pocho was picked off early. Easy peasy with a nice trade back onto Chap and BC onto Mint.
However, that will be, BC, like you said, BC getting Mint. Zilchi's going to get Brian, and BC gets another kill onto Zilchi. Easy peasy is going to be the last man alive on a 3-on-1. It's not looking good for him. There's going to be the final shots. No, Bacon will go down, barely scratching Easy peasy. You've got one, I believe, that's outside the kitchen window. Right above, that's going to be Jarvis. That's his last breaching charge. A nade, looks like a nade from below or from above. There he goes, and it is not looking good for Easy peasy. He knows he's being cornered. Gonna spot the shot, he gets one, but he cannot get the last kill into Jarvis. And we're gonna see Ominous taking map number 2. We're headed to Skyscraper.
An excellent job from Ominous to bring it back into their favor. And unfortunately, a lack of real change from FlipSid. I mean, again, we've talked about this before. That kitchen defense just has not been working for either of those teams, and it is mostly, in my opinion, indicative of the lack of a roamer game, a real roamer game. Hot and cold, he went for that run out, and he got the aggression, but he just looked the wrong way. And
left, right, yeah. Which way do you go? And he decided to look left and down off the balcony.
And unfortunately, because of that, and I think that was mostly the most crucial thing in that matchup, because of that particular circumstance where Hot just did not get any of the picks he needed, Ominous just had a nice and easy clear moving into the site. And, you know, well, to be fair, FlipSid, they almost brought it back to bring it to a 1-on-1 in the end.
Yep, and this is Zilchi's pistol kill there onto Chapstick to win this round. Now, again, what we've predicted it is that this is going to be a super close matchup, and so far it has been.
Legitimately as close as it possibly can be, coming to 6-5, 6-5 on both of these maps. It's been pretty exciting. Oof, that was a nice shot from Han. And again,
there it is. No, no. Oh, later.
I mean, he made up with that. He made up for it with that ass shot though onto the Valkyrie earlier. That was pretty nice.
Now, Easy peasy did get the flick on the sledge. It just couldn't get that shot on the Jarvis. It was a good pinch, a good crossfire that they had going together. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Overall, it was a good matchup from both of these teams. Now we're going to see Skyscraper. So, how are they? The Skyscraper is not nearly as explored as Chalet or Clubhouse. And both of these teams tend to bring new things to the table in each and every one of the maps that they play, but have they invested practice hours into Skyscraper?
I feel like they have, because one of the things that we've constantly seen of DLC maps that have competitive potential has been they don't get played their original season most of the time. Border, Skyscraper, they haven't been played, but then they get played massively in the following seasons. Border, one of the top map picks of this season. Yeah. Skyscraper's there as well, not all the time, but we are seeing it. And I think what I like seeing about maps in the Pro League is the level of strategy, the depth of strategy is immense compared to maps that are not in the pool. Like they're more well developed than maps that aren't in the Pro League pool.
Yeah, Cafe being brought in, I think it got brought in for the Invitational, or maybe it was Season 3 of last year, but whatever the case, it wasn't part of the Pro League for Season 2. And then a lot of the development started happening after it got brought back. Yep. So a map like Border, it's been so very similar. It's been brought into the Pro League for somewhat newer, and there has been some fantastic strat development on that particular map. And Skyscraper is the new, I guess. Okay, it's not the newest edition. It's not. That's Coastline. But it's the newest that's going to be played. And nobody wants to play Coastline this early on. Later down the line, once teams have scrimmed and dry runned on Coastline and they've invested actual man hours into figuring the map out, it will likely see more play. But as it stands, Skyscraper is the newest that we are likely to see. And because of that, it's going to be interesting. Every single time we see a matchup like this with two fantastic teams come to a map that we haven't seen a whole lot of. We've seen it played a couple times in this Pro League so far, but overall not so much. We are going to see very much new things, I think.
I think with Skyscraper, and one of the reasons, we'll just touch on Coastline for a second, one of the reasons we aren't seeing Coastline is because I feel like in order for it's brand new, teams are investing time, but what has to happen is you need to know how the other team is going to play. The
meta has to develop on said map before you can actually play it and have it really refined down to a T. And now we are seeing, ladies and gentlemen, we're jumping right into the map. Skyscraper, again, this is the third map of this series. This will decide who advances to the winner bracket of the playoffs and who gets descended down into the loser bracket. If you win this map, you are guaranteed a spot at LAN.
Correct.
So, FlipSid on attack. Going into the first round, Ominous on defense. We're going to see a karaoke tea room. No surprise there. That is the most commonly picked bomb site on Skyscraper. But how exactly will they set it up?
Now, it was last week we saw some Skyscraper, if I remember correctly. And one of the things that I recall happening was actually opening up the floors, not the floor, but opening up the bottom of the wall between both bomb sites, so you can basically see into both bomb sites without overexposing yourself from any of the window peaks.
Some teams like to do that. Some teams prefer to reinforce it. It's all up to how you want to play it as a defensive team. Are you going to try to hard anchor and just waste out the time? Are you going to try and go aggressive and get those picks on the players as they, the attacking operators as they advance into the site? I mean, it's all down to you and how you or your team, you and your team, and how you choose to handle it. It's done differently by a number of different people. But yeah, they're also investing a lot of utility downstairs. Now this is interesting. It's likely that we're going to see Jarvis. He is on the pulse, going for the roamer game, but the majority of the sites, both A and B, are destructible, and the C4 will be very useful in stopping those plans. So it looks like they're trying to do something similar to an upstairs consulate hold.
Yeah, and what we're seeing here is, like you said, you've got Jarvis underneath. I believe we also have that as Brian, if I remember correctly. BC. BC's underneath playing Rook. Easy peasy. Bringing out the IQ, though.
Yeah, IQ is actually very useful in this map. There's a lot of great places to hide Valkyrie cameras on those towers. Unfortunately for FlipSid, there is no Valkyrie coming from Ominous. So the IQ not going to be quite as useful. She will be able to hunt down the Pulse, however, and hopefully that'll open up the sites for some plans.
Now, the last time I remember seeing a UMP inside of Jarvis's hands, he got an ace on border. So he's looking to possibly play a similar style of play, being, like you said, the roamer off-site, trying to get the kills one by one, and then progressing them back onto site when time comes. But FlipSid looks like they're going for a west balcony push.
Yeah, straight into B, seemingly. Interesting that they're not going to try and take control of Geisha. Ominous have completely left Geisha exposed, probably relying on that C4 from underneath. Again, we talked about earlier on the Pulse. But FlipSid, they're not going to go for anything of the sort. A north and a west side take coming out from FlipSid. They're pushing away now into the north stairs.
Now Jarvis heard the fire from above him. He knows someone's on top of those north stairs. He doesn't quite know who just yet, but he's got the C4 handy and ready to go. Gonna toss it right up, blows it up, and actually does 0 damage. Hot and Cold now gonna know that, okay, someone's inside a bathroom or at least maybe by the table. Gets rid of the barbed wire. He's got to be careful. To his side is going to be Jarvis. He's moved on into the barbecue lounge as Jarvis is still here inside of the restaurant, but he does get picked off from Hot and Cold, who peeks around with a marvelous headshot.
Unfortunately, Jarvis there just a tiny bit behind the going-ons of the FlipSid attack. FlipSid being very aggressive on this push. Will they be able to get rid of the smoke in the A bomb site, though? That is the real challenge, as he has 40 seconds on the clock and still has his gas grenade.
Ooh, now you do have, I believe that's Blitz, who moved on in through the drone hole, or through the impact hold. He's going to pick up a double kill into Hot and Cold, and easy peasy. Now BC got Mint. That's a triple kill there for Ominous, but Pojo was able to trade off onto Chapstick. They finally get that smoke out, but Brian is still here. He's got to go up against Pojo and Zilchi. Ooh, and there's going to be great timing workmanship together, as you did have Zilchi trying to get the feet from the castle barricade. That's going to allow Pojo Man picking up that kill onto Brian. Now BC in the back hallway here. Fuser does get planted. Pojo Man going to go for the shots, but BC pre-fires around the corner. Just have Zilchi last man alive. Some pre-fire happening behind the couches. He gets his feet shot just a little bit more. And BC still holding down a corner, waiting to try to get this opened up. A Deagle shot, but he cannot get it. Tries to rush on in and will not work out for him. We're going to have Ominous securing round number 1 on Skyscraper.
A little bit of unfortunate timing coming out from both of those teams. You saw Jarvis, he wasn't able to use his pulse to any success whatsoever. But at the same time, FlipSid just barely missing the timing when it came to challenging the players in the site. And because of that, Ominous, as you said, they brought the first round into their favor. Now we're going to be seeing FlipSid likely going to be picking the same bomb site. We'll see if they decide to go. Yep, there it is, karaoke tea room. No surprises there. See exactly how they choose to handle it. They are doing quite a lot of interesting things. Both of these teams, they're bringing castles to slow down the enemy as much as possible. They're also opening up the back wall, or what we saw from Ominous anyways. They opened up the back wall into, or the main wall, sorry, in the hallway between the two sites so that they can rotate easily in and out.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
So, with FlipSid picking the Pulse, picking the Castle, it seems to be, like you said, a very similar, not a similar operator choices that we saw from Ominous. I'm curious on where the Castle is going to play a role for FlipSid.
I think it's actually the same exact operators choices that we saw from Ominous
You're
on
right,
the
you're
defense. On attack, however, it's mostly the same, but we have a Capital instead of an IQ, and I feel like that will probably be a little bit more influential going into these rounds. Capital, Firebolt's very good at getting rid of players hiding behind those grates and the indestructible floor in the A-bomb site.
Yep. I think that's definitely the right call. Last time what they didn't do, they didn't go after Jarvis. FlipSid didn't go after Jarvis underneath, but that also didn't play a massive role in deteriorating them.
They did go for Jarvis.
Oh, you're right, Hot and Cold did.
They killed him. Yeah, no, he was, yeah, Jarvis was unable to make any sort of success in that round. We are seeing Ominous, they're spawning in a position to do a very similar attack what we were seeing from FlipSid, setting themselves up on the north and west side of the building on the balcony outside to then push in, more than likely, through the doorway and try to pressure the site.
Now, Brian is being detected out there by the heartbeat sensor. He's going to get off of the rappel and move on over towards the bathroom window.
It's likely that Ominous are aware there is a pulse underneath and are just waiting patiently, not wanting to risk anything unnecessarily. The Pulse has put himself in a position the same as Jarvis to try and hopefully get the C4 kill as these attacking operators push their way in through the balcony doorway.
It looks like I think they've droned out Hot and Cold, and they're looking to pinch him here. Ooh, BC's going to take massive damage. He tries to go for the peek onto Hot and Cold, but Hot's going to throw out one C4, not do much damage, but he still has escaped with 0 health taken away from him. Zilchi, however, does pick up the kill into BK all the way from the lounge area across the map.
So Ominous now taking it nice and slow. They are at the man deficit here, and they have not opened up any serious avenues to attack the site. No real opportunities here. They're going to have to challenge a hard hold from easy peasy lemon squeezy to push their way into the A-bomb site. Zilchi still maintaining control over drum room, and Hot and Cold still maintaining control underneath the site. Ominous looking for opportunities by pushing Brian into the barbecue kitchen.
It looks as though Mint and Chapstick are going back and forth here inside of Geisha. However, BC will finally go down by Easy Peasy. Stuck inside of the fire, it appears. Easy Peasy still going to live. No, he finally goes down. I don't know if that was by the gas grenade or by the fire arrow.
It was by the gas grenade.
By the gas grenade. A team kill there by Pojo, man. But he continues to go nuts here as he takes down Jarvis. In a 2-on-4 at the moment, Brian will fall to Mint. Chapstick last man alive, and it looks like an enemy's been detected outside. I think that might have been Mint hopping out for a split second. But nonetheless, Chapstick's still going to move his way in here. He will be pinched by multiple sides. Hot and Cold coming up the north stairwell will take down Chapstick.
So Ominous seemingly getting a little bit too spread out. And if you guys recall, Ominous is the sort of team that coordinate very well as individuals and are usually putting themselves in positions to trade each other back. And it's just not happening in this instance. Again, they're getting a little bit spread out, and they're not being able to, as individuals, kill the FlipSid players in that pulse, in that castle, in that rook on the site. Unfortunately, missing that firebolt in between the grates. Just some unfortunate circumstance. And now we are at 1-1. Both of these teams having good success on defense. Ominous will be moving their way down into the kitchen and the barbecue. And this is usually held very similar to the way that karaoke is held. Reinforce some of the external walls, sure. Some of the other site walls, open up between the sites, move your way upstairs, maybe 3 players upstairs, 2 players downstairs, and just kind of hold it the same as karaoke. Deny upstairs control and thus deny the plant onto the site by maintaining verticality on the attacking squad.
Now this is going to be a little tricky here for FlipSid, bringing no Thatcher yet again, and you need to open up. If you most successful pushes from attack side, most successful attackers open up that kitchen wall, the middle kitchen wall between barbecue and the majority of kitchen. But they've got Mute and they've got Bandit to stop that Hibana. So with no Thatcher in sight, I'm not quite sure that wall will get open. They do have a Twitch, but it's gonna be a maze trying to get that Twitch drone through the kitchen and get those batteries opened.
Drone's up and running.
As it is, FlipSid droning out the delivery area, rappelling on the south walls, taking it nice and slow. Looking to, seems like, methodically push their way in through delivery, open up that wall like you were talking about, but again, they don't have a whole lot in the way of ability to open that wall up. They're going to use the Ash Charge, however, to try and destroy the battery and do a little bit of damage onto Brian. Unfortunately, he's going to be in a position to put another battery right on down, and there's no more wall for Ash to... Well, she might be able to get around in there, but Brian's going to stick around, see if he can't continue Bandit tricking it.
I mean, that did more than 50 health, so if Hot and Cold can get another well-placed breaching charge there,
it'll kill him.
It will, but instead he's going to opt to get rid of the barbed wire.
Probably the safer option in that instance.
Ooh, he actually peeks on out. That angle was supposed to be held down, I want to say, by Chapstick. I think Chapstick was inside of the pantry, looking down towards the window. So I don't think we needed to have Brian peek out from there.
It's unfortunate that he chose to, and then because of that, the wall does get opened up by Pojo Man. And now FlipSid have complete control over the site, but Hot and Cold vaulting into the site gets picked off by Bacon.
So if FlipSid wants to get this plant down in the next minute and 10 seconds, they're going to have to take control of that top floor and get Bacon out of there, or they're going to have to push into barbecue.
And they've done just that. They're getting the plant down now. Even though Bacon is playing in Geisha, he has no way to actually stop this plant.
A perfectly timed flashbang. He will be finished off very easily. Now last man alive is going to be Bacon. Sees Pojo Man, and they will get one kill, but he still has 3 to go with Easy Peasy, Mint, and Zilchi all being left alive. Bacon, he's being cornered from many different sides. Zilchi's going to get the shots down onto him from outside, repelled off the balcony, and that is going to go in FlipSid's favor.
Seems like FlipSid have a better handle on this map overall. Their first attack round went into their favor very decisively, and... Or sorry, it didn't. Their first attack didn't go into their favor. We've seen 2 defense wins so far. Correct. That was the first offense win of the map, I think, so far, of the entirety. So that was a good job by FlipSid to break the mold of the continued defensive wins. Now we're going to see FlipSid. They're going to be going down to the barbecue kitchen, see how they're going to handle it. But yeah, I'm sorry. On the upstairs defense, we did see Ominous win the first round, but it was very, very close. It came down to a 2 versus 1 with the diffuser planted. And in the case of FlipSid, they very decisively won that upstairs hold. I think they lost maybe 1 or 2 operators on their defense. And now they have won their barbecue attack. And will Ominous be able to return in kind? We are seeing FlipSid set up in a very similar fashion. They do have the castle barricades going down onto the main door area. That's going to allow them to focus on, or basically ignore that part of the map so they can think a little bit more about the west, north, and south side of this barbecue kitchen.
And one of the things I do like seeing from both of these teams is how they manage to push onto the site from attackers from a balcony, from an outside point of view, because many times you'll see defenders get aggressive, peek on outside, or jump on outside of windows or outside of doorways to just basically get a whole line of sight onto some of the attackers that are lined up on the balconies.
Right.
So I like seeing how they're navigating and positioning themselves to reduce that opportunity from the defenders.
Absolutely. You can see from Ominous, they have brought a Thatcher to the board, so they're not going to have to do anything tricky to get that kitchen wall open. They do also have the Hibana to do just that, open up the wall. And she is likely to do that terribly. Thatcher grenades going down onto that wall to open it up. Destroy the bandit chargers that are on the wall, and there is no mute coming out from FlipSid, so no double layer.
Drone's up and running.
Yeah, but it looks as though Easy Peasy will be spotted out behind the tables. He thinks he might be clear, but his legs were spotted by the drone. So Brian's going to actually open that up. I think he just shot it for the time being.
It is a very common spot where Easy Peasy Lemon Squeezy is playing, but it is also very useful and hard to deal with, as an attacker. Being there, you'd only have to look one way, and having a 3 armor in that situation, you can win a lot of the challenges that are going to come your way, especially given you have the ACOG. Jarvis, though, looking like he's trying to establish control of upstairs. There are 2 players in the Geisha room in Pojo Man and Mint. They are going to hold that tooth and nail as long as they possibly can.
Now we're going to see, like you said, we're going to see Geisha room being held down by FlipSid. Jarvis, however, is going to finish droning out the second hallway. He sees Zilch inside of drum room. Pre-toss 1 grenade, try to toss it on over. Pojo Man still going to be inside of the Geisha room with Mint. Now this is using up a lot of time, but they are close to site, and once they take over top floor, it's not going to be that much more difficult for them to get this final kill. Jarvis will get the kill into Zilchi, as we just saw Bacon take down Mint, who jumped outside of Geisha. A good collapse and a good receive from Bacon. Geisha's all clear. Pojo dropped on through the hatch back onto site. Easy peasy, still inside of the dining hall. He's got Sledge above him, as Jarvis does pick off Easy. So here we have it. Pojo Man, hot and cold, last 2 alive against 5 Ominous members. Brian on the top of those north stairs. He's going to move on forward as Bacon will try to smoke on out, but he's still out on the west balcony. Chapstick's there as well. Looks like drones are going to go into the barbecue room at the moment. 5 on 2. Still has 2 gas grenades left. Chapstick hops on in. He's going to try to get this plant down. They hear it. He's going to try to gas it last time. Will it get Chapstick down? No, it won't. Plant will be successful. It just went through the hole onto the stairwell. Now, Brian did get 1 kill. Hot and Cold going to take down BC. So a 4 on 1 at the moment. Hot and Cold full health, but not likely to come out of this alive. Every movement he makes is going to be 1 indicator for Ominous. That's going to be 1 more shot, 1 shot closer. Still a 3 on 1. You've got Bacon, I believe that's outside west balcony. And no, he's actually gotten on inside of the kitchen to come up from behind Hot and finish him off.
Defense wins upstairs, offense wins downstairs. Both of these teams, again, continuing a very similar trend and playing very similarly overall. It's almost as like we're watching a mirror play out. They have different interpretations on their attacks and defenses and bringing different operators, but the results are still, for the most part, the same. I hasten to guess that we're going to see another 6-5 in this instance. I mean, it's looking that way. Am I wrong?
So, I mean, if I recall correctly, and forgive me, I'm not up to date on all of my stats for the Latin American League, but the closest, the most rounds we've ever seen in a single series was 32-33 during the Season 3 Grand Finals, or not Grand Finals, but the Season 3 Finals between Playing Ducks and Most Wanted. And if this goes to a 6-5, this would be the first time we ever see a 33-round match.
That would be incredible. Quite a story to tell home about. And now we're seeing Ominous. They're going back onto their upstairs defense. Now, this has been successful for both of these teams, including Ominous. And now, last time this happened, or last time they defended this site, it was very close, however. It came down to a 1 versus 2 again with the diffuser planted. And almost FlipSid managed to pull it out of their hat, but not quite. Jarvis, unfortunately, not making use of his pulse underneath the site. Not getting a kill with his C4, nor any subsequent kills afterwards. And we'll see if he can make a little bit more use with it downstairs, with his pulse downstairs, and put his team in a better position going into this next round.
Their diffuser. Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Now, from FlipSid, we are going to see again a westward push off of the helipad. Last time they spent a lot of time and effort on this balcony, ready to try to push into B, and we saw Hot and Cold work his way down those north stairs. Going to be in position again to do it. It looks, we are seeing Geisha, like you said previously, they're just giving up Geisha.
They forfeit Geisha entirely. Ominous doesn't seem to put much stock in holding it. And you know, that might be the right call, but we'll see if it works out for them. The way that they have it set up right now is they put the castle barricade on the door, which means that the pulse, as you can see, he's underneath. If he is told by his team, hey, there's someone coming into Geisha right now, and it should be pretty easy for them to hear that, he'll go underneath Geisha and see for them.
So Jarvis identifying 1 repelled outside on the northwest corner of the map here, but I don't think he realizes that he is kind of being pinched. They're going to assume that he's there. They know that he was there last time. That's where Hot picked him off.
Blackbeard has been lit up. I did not see the engagement, but he is on pretty low HP. And because of that, if somebody decides to shoot his feet, which is usually what happens with a Blackbeard, he will go down very, very easily. No replaceable shields are going to solve that for him. So that is very important that he has been lit up as such. And none of the Ominous players have taken any damage yet. 1 minute 40 on the clock, and FlipSid has, as of yet, to make any serious progress towards the site. There is no one in a serious position to stop them pushing in through the B window, however, at this current moment.
I feel like they could hop in and go to the wall closest to the hallway there that's been reinforced and plant right in that corner.
Yeah, but Jarvis is underneath still in a good position to stop just that. Easy peasy pushing his way down onto the north stairs.
Mint opening up the window again. This is going to be a push here. Chapstick still tucked around. Easy peasy waiting for that head to pop on up. With 60 seconds left to go, Pojo's going to drone it out as well as Easy. He's actually spotted. He's got his drone right on top of Chapstick's feet.
In position. Drones up and running.
Here's going to be the toss from one gas grenade. Still has 2 left to go. Zilchi again trying to hold down. This is all based around Chapstick. They're all trying to rotate and get Chapstick out of that yellow cubby. And if they can, the round might be theirs. If they can't, it doesn't look like it's going to work out for him.
Nade fell just short, and unfortunately, Easy Peasy does not have any more. 34 seconds now on the clock, and Chapstick still has 1 smoke grenade to his name. FlipSid prepping for this push.
You got 25 seconds to go. The smoke grenades are coming. An aggressive push by Easy, but he will be taken up by BC in the middle stairwell. And Bacon will get down onto Pojo as Hot and Cold gets a double kill onto Brian and BC. You still have Chapstick. He's going to come on out of the cubby to take down Hot and Cold for the trade. A 3-on-2. You still have Zilchi with low health. Mint coming up those north stairs. Diffuser's in his hands. He's going to go for the similar push, but now he's actually got himself into B site. Going to go for the plant here with 3 seconds left. No, he will not. He's going to move on forward, and the round will go to Ominous here as Zilchi and Mint just cannot get the final shots down.
So FlipSid, they prepped themselves well, putting themselves in a great position to push into the site. They all sprung into action all at once. They got some good trades back and forth, and the potential for the round win was there, but unfortunately, because they spent so much time trying to get that smoke out of the great corner in A, and unfortunately they didn't, they ended up not having any time on the board in the end of that push, and because of that, the round went in favor of Ominous. So what we were seeing from Ominous on that attack, that same exact attack, is the Capital. And in the last time they attacked this site, they unfortunately did not get the Capital arrow between the grates to kill the smoke who's playing in A. But if they manage to hit it this time, that might be the exact counter that they're looking for going into this push. Because again, both of these teams are defending the same, both of these teams are attacking the same right now. And yeah, if they get the Capital bolt into that corner, I have to imagine that they're going to have a successful A push.
Yep.
Because that's been what's holding both of these teams back going into these pushes.
Yeah, I mean, it's so pivotal to have that yellow cubby under your control, because from there, you can maintain control of that entire bomb site. The rest of your team can focus on holding down the B site. It's very effective to hold down this A just from that yellow cubby, which we see Easy Peasy situated in.
Neither of the teams are really holding down the B site. They're not. FlipSid is doing one thing different than Ominous. They're holding down Geisha, but the B site, for the most part, is being neglected, as both of these teams know. All they have to really do is wait for their, like, if someone goes into plant B, they're going to get C forward from underneath with that pulse, as well as it's pretty easy to just shoot anyone in B as they open up the 4, as you were talking about earlier, that hole in the hallway at foot level into the B bomb site. That's completely opened up, so it's not really an option. B is an option. And as such, both of these teams are trying to force their way into B. Or A.
No,
you can't go B, but they're trying to go into B.
We do have Hot and Cold, though, who's prepping the kitchen window to hop on out. Now, if he does that successfully, he might be able to pick off, I think that is Brian repelled on that west balcony. However, it does sound like all the Hibana charges just got shot. Not quite sure where those Hibana charges were.
Attackers have located
I didn't quite see it either, to be honest.
But again, like you said, these teams, while they do have some variation on which rooms they're going to hold down, like Mint's going to hold down Geisha and Ominous doesn't, they seem to be forcing the majority of their utilities in the same spots as each other. We are seeing the same kind of castle setup, the same kind of holes being opened up into the A site, which we've seen both teams utilize. So altogether, this seems like it's going to be a very, very similar kind of hole.
Yep.
You have Bacon working his way on the north stairs, top of him, outside of the balcony. Brian has managed to get his way into Barbecue, trying to fight off Hot and Cold. Is he going to see Hot peek around? C4 gets tossed out of the kitchen. But right now, he's still secured for the time being. Trying to look for him. Looks like bullets will go. There's BC's cap it down air to take down easy peasy. You called it, Kicks. If he can get it in, get rid of him, we might just see a successful attack round on this top floor.
Unfortunately, for the Ominous, FlipSid is trading back players in response.
Ooh, and 2 double drop shots. Hot and Cold, though, will come out on top, taking him down. Pojo Man get ones on the Bacon. Last minute alive is going to be Chapstick. They did successfully get easy peasy out, but it's not going to work out as the potatoes come flying. Mint will get that final pistol kill onto Chapstick.
Potatoes come flying. I love that. That's fantastic. So, yeah, they got the Captain Airbolt down. But unfortunately, for Ominous, every other engagement went the way of FlipSid. So they got the one thing that was stumping them and got stumped by other things in the process.
Yep.
So now 3-3. These rounds keep getting traded back, guys. Gosh, you know, I've never seen this before where rounds get traded back in such quick succession in a match. No, wait. That's right. The last 2 maps that we just watched. These teams are certainly neck and neck. Both of them very skilled, not wanting to give up the first seed, or rather, the first spot in the winner bracket of the playoffs. Now, barbecue kitchen defense from Ominous yet again.
Now, last time what happened, you had Brian was trying to bandit trick the wall. Ash, that was Hot and Cold, tried to get rid of him, did about 60 damage to him, and then he just peeked on out and died. Yeah, that is exactly what happened, and because of that, FlipSid managed to get that kitchen wall open and kept picking off Ominous players one by one, pushing to the site, got the bomb plant, the diffuser plant, and that's all she wrote. We'll see if Brian can successfully bandit trick the wall. This time we are actually seeing from FlipSid a Thatcher coming out, so they have made the adjustment that they needed to make in that not wasting the Ash charges any longer on that kitchen wall. You just simply throw one Thatcher grenade. Yeah, it looks as though they've sacrificed the glass, which they had last time.
Now that's a big operator to have off the board for FlipSid. Means they won't be able to challenge through those smokes directly to just win whichever fight they want to. But I think it's the right call in this instance. Here comes the Thatcher grenade now. Will Brian be able to get the battery down in time? No, he's going to instead go away from the wall, opting not to risk his life.
Now, yeah, Brian got off of the wall, but now he's underneath of the window.
He's really worried about that kitchen window where he got killed from the repelling Ash last time they were on this defense.
Now, I feel like that window should be covered by Chapstick, who's the smoke inside a pantry.
Yeah, he will be able to handle it if a player vaults in, but the line of sight is still there for the attackers.
Correct. Bacon still playing above inside of Geisha with Brian. Actually, Brian navigated all the way upstairs. He's gotten out of the kitchen, he's gotten out of the barbecue, he's up here trying to help out Bacon now through the drop hatch.
So yeah, FlipSid, they have opened up this wall, and now they're going to start working on taking upstairs control. Houghton gets a nice pick onto BC to put the man advantage distinctly into FlipSid's favor.
Chapstick was spotted out here, so Hot and Cold's going to repel on inside and possibly push his way into pantry from that master bedroom side. Looks as though we actually have Bacon, who has been down but not out just yet. Brian should be able to pick him up without too much pressure. Now with 1:15 left to go, actually I think we might have Bacon who, oh, Bacon does get picked back up. Okay, I heard someone get shocked by a drone. I thought Mint was going after him. Now with 60 seconds to go, Hot's going to try to bait out Chapstick here. He's going to open up the wall to the right side, hop in through the window, and possibly get him peeking around. There it is. He hops on through the window, takes down Chapstick. Kitchen is now theirs. However, Brian from above will take down Hot and Cold for the trade. A 3-on-3 at the moment with 45 seconds to go. An aggressive push off by Bacon, and Mint is there to down him and finish him off. So you still have Brian upstairs. He's inside of Geisha. You've got Jarvis, who's actually, is he Geisha as well? No, he is downstairs. I believe he's still by bathroom. Diffuser will get planted here by Pojo Man. Zilchi inside of the bars. You've got Mint coming down the north stairs. Brian now dropped in through. He's inside a kitchen now, peeking on into the site. Doesn't see anyone, so he's going to take one aggressive look on outside. No, he's actually going to get the booty of Zilchi, taking him down now. Pojo's prone underneath of the windows by the north stairs. He comes on out, looks left again, and misses the shots. Pojo Man taking him down. Now a 1-on-2. Jarvis has the ability to clutch this, but he's got to push now. There's only about 20 seconds left on that timer.
Could just try to stick it.
He could. He's got plenty of time. The more time he wastes, the more Pojo Man knows I can just go in for the push. But he needs to go right now. Pojo Man's actually coming around. He goes for the shots and he misses. However, Mint drops at the perfect time to get the collapse, get the collection. And we do have FlipSid taking this round 4-3 now.
Yeah.
4-3, yes.
4-3, and it's going to be them now. It's going to be FlipSid now on match point. They are going to be forced to defend Kitchen Barbecue, however. And again, nobody has won Kitchen Barbecue defense yet. It's been constant trade backs. Everybody's winning upstairs on defense, and then everybody's winning downstairs on offense. And it's just been going back and forth and back and forth. So if the trend continues, if FlipSid are unable to break the consistency of these rounds,
Attackers need to locate and defuse
Ominous will be able to put themselves into overtime and keep their dreams alive in this series.
And what we're seeing here from FlipSid, as we've seen previously, has been a... I'm about to call this the standard defensive barbecue and kitchen hold.
Yeah, you can call it that.
We'll call it the standard hold.
We haven't seen enough on Skyscraper to really know what's standard and what's not.
Correct.
So it's fair enough to go ahead and take the example of this matchup and be like, okay, yeah, the North American meta, from what we can see so far, this is pretty standard. You know, keeping control of Geisha, banditing in the Geisha wall to the outside. That gives you vertical control over kitchen. Reinforcing the kitchen wall and a couple walls in the A-bomb site. Then playing really dynamically around the A-bomb site, not inside necessarily, but for retakes primarily. And yeah, that's what we've been seeing from most of these teams for the most part. Some of the differences being FlipSid, they put the rook in those tables. Oh, an aggressive peek from Houghton, and unfortunately, because of that, Bacon was ready for it, and the man advantage is now in favor of Ominous.
I feel like that would have been better planned if Hot actually opened up that window before the prep phase ended.
Yeah.
That sound gave it away.
Absolutely, definitely.
We do have BC here on the north balcony. Jarvis is also going to accompany him here.
So the distinct difference in these takes between Ominous and FlipSid is FlipSid, they didn't really vie for upstairs control very much, instead opting to simply plant in the A-bomb site. But Ominous, they have been pushing upstairs very hard, trying to get rid of the players in Geisha and Drum Room before they push their way into the site. And they're doing just that right now. Brian has moved his way onto the north stairs and is starting to work on this tea room. He doesn't know that there's no one in there.
Now Mint's actually going to be not fully exposed. He reinforced the one wall that was keeping him safe.
Right.
But still, now Mint is locked down, and Brian has to make the assumption that someone is inside of Geisha.
It's likely that they have been droned out. There are two players in Geisha again. Oh, Mint peeks out right as Brian looks away. Unfortunate timing there for Brian.
Now, a lot of time is being wasted, though. Like you said, Ominous is trying to go for this push on the top floor, and Pojo Man and Mint are doing a very successful job at having them go slowly, progressing slowly onto this Geisha hold.
Yeah, Ominous, this is match point and series point. If Ominous loses this round, but Bacon with another pick onto easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now it's a 3 versus 5. 1 minute left on the clock. They have plenty of time to make this push happen in their favor. Pojo Man has dropped down yet again, and Mint is the last player in Geisha.
Looks like BC is going to finish droning out, I want to say, or placing a Claymore, but the gas grenades from Pojo Man are going to stop Bacon from pushing on into the barbecue. Now, plant is going to be happening from Chapstick. He's the Hibana. I don't think he's inside sight just yet. He's waiting to get the opportunity now. BC still trying to work his way. Bacon with another kill into Pojo Man, though. A 5-on-2. However, Mint finally peeks around from Geisha. Gets one. Gets another kill. Bacon over. Gets Zilchi down. And as Mint tried to get back onto the room here instead of Geisha, Brian peeks around from the north stairs to get him down.
It's kind of unfortunate that Brian got that final kill because Bacon just got a 4K to keep Ominous in this round, and he would have gotten the 5th. He was outside on kitchen window, and he would have had line of sight onto that last player on FlipSid. Mint, truly unfortunate. But yeah, that round mostly, I did not see the majority of Bacon's kills, unfortunately, but it just kind of came down to Bacon picking off the defenders one by one by one. That was very well played from Bacon.
So we talked about it earlier on this map. Worst case scenario, it's a 32 out of 33 rounds. Best case scenario, 33 out of 33 rounds.
Yeah.
We're breaking records here almost.
Yeah, this is pretty incredible. Both of these teams continue to trade rounds back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. They will not give up. And now we're seeing overtime on the third map of this series. Ominous will be put on defense first. They will be defending this Geisha room. Now, this is, or not Geisha, I say the tea room karaoke room, excuse me. The thing is if they win this defense, they will then, and then let's say that they lose their attack onto the same exact defense coming out from FlipSid, they will then be forced onto a kitchen defense. And on kitchen defense, neither of these teams have had great success. So, it might not be the best thing for Ominous to win this particular, I mean, they have to win it because then they're going to have to face it.
You can't give it up.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can't give up the round. But the problem is, what I'm saying here is Ominous is kind of at a disadvantage here going into overtime, given that they've been put on defense first because they have to defend Geisha, the better site first, and that means that they will also have to defend for the second time in overtime.
Correct.
Hot and Cold's ready. He don't care. He ready.
He ready for that window peek. Now that is the second floor peek, which Hot and Cold peeked the first floor last time.
He's like, yeah, you're not going to be able to peek out on me like I peek out on you.
Yep. But now we do have, like you said, a little bit different.
Yeah, Ominous, they forfeit Geisha.
They do. They did forfeit Geisha, it appears.
Which is not what FlipSid do. FlipSid, they still play the Bandit in the Geisha room. They also bring in IQ on this attack, but they do a couple things differently. FlipSid are going to be moving their way into what looks like Garden, and then very likely after that, Drum Room, but there is going to be a Brian or BC in a position to stop that. That is Brian.
Now this is something that hasn't really come about before. Hot and Cold's typically push down north stairs. Now that they're actually trying to pinch in from multiple sides, they won't have the luxury of having everyone's attention be forced towards the north balcony.
Yeah, FlipSid, they've been making a lot of adjustments in this matchup, in this entire series, and it sometimes works for them when they try to do something differently, sometimes doesn't. We'll see what exactly happens here with this Ash. She's not sure about the east side of the building.
Ooh, now, Brian is in a very nice position, but he does get droned out, and Hot and Cold's going to be calling it out. He pushes on in, goes for the shot, but he potatoes just way too much. Brian will get one kill, but then be traded down by Easy Peasy Lemon Squeezy, and now that makes it to a 4-on-4. Still have the round to go, but Easy Peasy is now in control of that drum room. Chapstick still here inside of the ace site.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
Jarvis trying to lurk underneath. Mint, though, he's going to peek around and gets the headshot. That was actually a trade between Jarvis and Mint. They each dome each other with a single shot. We're here, 3-3, still 60 seconds to go. But I tell you what, this is intense.
Round count is 4 versus 4. Man count is 3 versus 3, and constant trades back and forth between these two teams in rounds and players. The like.
Now, Easy Peasy is on the north stairs here. That wall has been castled, which it hasn't been before. So he's going to have to use one nade to get rid of it. That's the last nade from Easy Peasy, but it doesn't actually do all the damage it needs to. So the castle barricade's still there. You've got Bacon trying to peek on out from the second door of Tea Room. He knows one is on the north stairs. He probably is expecting one outside of the door. So all he's going to do is just keep on peeking back and forth. With 30 seconds left to go, Easy Peasy finally manages to get a little bit closer, inching ways. Oh, but he gets a shot through. Was that it looked a little bit like he got him. What a shot there by Easy Peasy. Downing Chapstick. Bacon, however, will take down Zilch as he progresses on in, but then will be killed off. This could be a successful push onto the A site.
Seconds remaining.
We've got Pojo and Easy last alive against BC. Chapstick is injured. He's not going to get it. It's now a one-on-one. Pojo's going to get the diffuser planted and hop on out the window. Now BC does have the opportunity to pick up Chapstick. And will he do that? He will.
Oh, this is dangerous.
It is very dangerous. He's going to come around. Looks for the shot, he's prone, and he put himself in a very vulnerable position, and it did not pay off for him. Chapstick gets on up from being down for about 30 seconds and will finish off Pojo Man and get that diffuser destroyed.
And again, FlipSid almost win that upstairs defense, but unfortunately for them, Ominous continuing the trend of continuing, tea room, karaoke room. Nobody can win that attack.
That castle barricade is what fiddled that, that moment right there.
Yeah, castle barricades are much more useful than I feel like a lot of people give them credit for, especially considering they don't die to 1 grenade anymore. They don't die to 3 glass shots anymore. They've been buffed significantly in that manner. And because of that, you know, it's stayed true, it stayed alive, and FlipSid, I mean, you could have seen that Hibana get a 2K as he was rounding the corner through the door, but lo and behold, a freaking castle barricade preventing just that. However, you have to give credit to the fact that Chapstick, he was peeking out really aggressively as Smoke playing in that corner. And the angle that got opened up on him from the IQ wasn't necessary that Chapstick got down in that instance. Yeah. He kind of overexposed himself. So that was what opened up the round in the first place for FlipSid to get the bomb down. A little bit of too aggressive from Chapstick, but whatever the case be, FlipSid now, they will be defending upstairs. Will
we're seeing this go to 33-33. I've accepted that fact. I've accepted we're going to see this go all the way to 6-5.
I want to say there's no way Ominous could win this upstairs attack. There's no way it could happen, but I feel like I'm going to jinx it because
5 seconds remaining.
I feel like that'd be rude. Ominous, how dare you take away a 33-game round from these guys?
What? Oh, no. I mean, but I feel like that would jinx it. Nobody's been able to win this upstairs attack quite yet. Ominous, they're bringing some new operators to the board in the Glass. I don't think they're bringing it upstairs quite as much, instead opting to bring Thatcher, but that hasn't been helping them very much. Or actually, was it Blackbeard? No, I think it was Thatcher. Whatever the case be, they have the Glass now. They have the Capital. The last time they were on this attack, what happened is they got the Capital Bolt into the yellow corner, and it did kill the Rook, but unfortunately, that wasn't enough for them to win the round, as the majority of the rest of their players were getting picked off elsewhere and losing their engagements. So it's not going to come down to just that Capital Bolt, but rather getting the pick onto the Pulse, which unfortunately for Ominous, again, they've had a lot of trouble with hot and cold underneath the bomb site with this Pulse. They haven't been able to really handle him in any significant manner, losing a player or two more often than not.
Now, hot and cold was droned out by BC behind the bar. It looks like BC's second drone is going to push on into Barbecue to finish off, just clearing out more location for Ash to push in.
It looks like Ominous is aware of the influence that Pulse is putting out onto these rounds and is applying a lot more pressure with those drones to give Ash more information leading into their engagement.
Yep, and I think Mint is inside of Geisha. Yes, he is. BC still working his way outside on that northwest balcony. Brian's now moved on over into the restaurant section. Brian's still having some trouble locating exactly where that Pulse went off to.
Yeah, and there's only a minute 25 on the clock, so Pulse has done his job already. He's wasted quite a lot of time. The pre-fire comes from hot and cold, but unfortunately does not connect with Brian as he slowly peeks out. Brian's going to throw another drone now to continue looking for hot and cold, but only a minute.
This is the 4th or 5th drone that Hot and Cold has been able to kill off and dodge away from without being killed off.
Yeah,
this is a lot of information that they aren't utilizing and taking advantage of.
It looks like Brian, instead of pushing directly into the Pulse in this instance, is just trying to cordon him off, though.
Now Brian's still looking over here at the left side bar. It looks as though a little prone action is going to happen from Hot and Cold. He's taking a look at him. He's going to go for the push. He's going to peek on up the C4, tossed from the go, and there she goes. She goes flying. Pojo Man going to get a gas kill onto Jarvis. Bacon's going to get one of the men. We've had a lot of action here as we look at the action happening downstairs between Ash and Pulse. It's a 3-on-2 at the moment with 30 seconds to go. You've got Chapstick and Bacon. There, it looks like it's now only up to Bacon, a 3-on-1. We are very likely, without the diffuser in hand of Bacon, we're very likely to see this head to the 33rd round of this series, the first time ever in Rainbow Six Pro League history.
I think you're right that I think it is the first time ever in Rainbow Six Pro League history. I've never really seen a match quite like this. Damn, I mean, the first map, Ominous had a distinct lead and kind of blew it. But they brought it to the 6-5. The second map, it was constant trade back and trade back and trade back. And on the third map, Skyscraper, we're seeing the same exact thing. Constant trade backs on these rounds. And that last round, to get a little bit specific on why Ominous lost that round, it does come a little, very much down to the lack of getting rid of that Pulse early in the round. Because if you can take care of the roamer game from underneath, Brian no longer has to worry about it. He can move back up and support his team moving or pushing into the site. They also seemingly missed the Capital Bolt or didn't get an opportunity to shoot it in the first place onto the Rook in the yellow corner. And as such, he's remained alive late in the round. Doesn't even look like, I don't think they got the castle barricade open even. But whatever the case be, I feel like Ominous, they need to apply a lot more. I mean, I say what they need. They're never going to be, this is the final round of this series, guys. This is it. Ominous either win the very first kitchen defense of this map, or
FlipSid goes to
take
land.
it. Yeah, and FlipSid goes to land guaranteed. We'll see exactly what happens, but yeah, just a poor roamer or a poor roamer hunting coming out from Anonymous on that last round, and a great roam on FlipSid from FlipSid.
Yep. So I mean, I feel like with this being a site that they've tried, this is the sixth time that they've tried holding this site. I feel like, maybe not sixth time, no, they've had some top fours. This is like the second or third time they've tried holding on to this site, and it's been unsuccessful. I feel like possibly expanding into another bomb site might have been a better option.
It could have been the right decision, but you got to imagine nerves are high right now. There's a lot on the line for both of these teams. This is, again, this is the second round, and I imagine they wanted to go with what they're more used to. Didn't want to take the chance.
Ooh, and Zilchi's going to pick up that shot onto Bacon as he gets on out from the Twitch drone, feeling a little bit itchy, and he will get picked off. Jarvis, just very small angle. Looks like some bullets are going to find from Zilchi right above Chapstick's head. He's got nerves of steel staying right there without moving an inch.
Some of those shots are actually, I think, one of them connecting through the door, and they do know that Chapstick's playing there. They just droned him out, so Zilchi's going to stay on this angle.
Just make sure he doesn't blind himself. There he goes. And there it is. Hot and Cold will pick off Chapstick. This is looking very good for FlipSid. We're going to see Zilchi here still on top of the balcony. Hot and Cold is going to be droning out some more. A 5-on-3 with a minute and a half left to go. This seems to be more aggression than we've seen in previous rounds. Most of the time we've seen it progressing very slowly. But right now, we've got 3 members of Ominous left alive. Jarvis, we've got Brian, and we've got BC, I believe. BC's over here inside of the restaurant. This is one of those typical spots that you'll see, like you said, that 3 armored operator going to be situated. Now Jarvis trying to push on outside. He's playing the heavy roam game. He's got to tear down this castle barricade, though, as it is blocking his way back onto site. And he gets picked off again by Zilchi. What a tremendous shot here. What a wonderful angle. A 2-on-5 at the moment. We're going to have FlipSid here. It is looking very good for Mint's going to go for the peek. He gets another kill, and it's now all up to the Bandit. This is going to be Brian, and he gets 1 kill, but he has literally 2 health to go and 40 seconds to defend both bomb sites. Pojo Man is going to have the diffuser as he peeks on up. Hot and Cold will get the kill on Brian, and we are going to see FlipSid taking home this 33-round series.
Woo! That was a long match. That was a fantastic round from FlipSid. All they really did on that round
Holy that game.
Holy that game, yes. Yes, holy that game. Indeed, I concur with that assessment. I was saying, yeah, on that round, FlipSid, all they really did was open up angles into the site. And Ominous kind of walked into those angles, exposed themselves, and got picked off. There wasn't much else going on. Towards the end, FlipSid, they pushed in, sure, but I mean, they had like 3 man down on the Ominous line when they were pushing in. And they had a complete man advantage. There wasn't even an attempt for upstairs control coming out from FlipSid. On that barbecue kitchen, they've been completely neglecting upstairs. They don't feel the need to take it. Instead, they opt to go straight for the A-bomb site instead of the kitchen.